and then I will hit go live. So we should be live to the standby screen. Hello, standby screen. Welcome to Let's Talk FGO, kind of. Let me just make sure everything's going okay. Make sure you guys are reading me, and then we'll tab over. Because we're kind of sort of doing what I believe I would call solo mode again. So, hello, everybody. Rotate over. All the viewers drop, and then they reappear, because it's weird. Tracking. But yeah, it's live, kind of. I mean, the show is live, but things are different. I want to let everybody cycle in. Oh, we got a like already. That's good. Okay. All right, we can do this for like 45. I see people talk about stuff. We got our tech check in, so let me find the correct window. There we go, and we'll just pivot over. Hello. Ignore the intro. Here, actually, let me just. I'll even be smart. We'll scroll past the intro. Yeah, there we go. You can't even see it. Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk FGO. I usually yell that a little louder, but hey, I'll tell the story a little bit at the beginning, and then we can reiterate it later. But we're doing this live stream solo thing again. I put out a tweet and a social post yesterday, and basically, I don't have the full story for context. So here's what I've surmised from what Lucky told me yesterday. Well, don't ask questions I don't know the answer to. Gosh. So Lucky told me yesterday he wasn't up to record. Work changed some stuff up for him, and he was experiencing some pain and discomfort. I can only guess that from what he said, his work probably had him suddenly do some heavy lifting or something, and he wasn't in any shape to, like, sit for a couple hours and do the show. So we pushed it to today. He said that was okay. And I haven't heard from him today, but I did see he was at least active earlier today. I saw him online Discord and clicking stuff in the YouTube videos. So, I'm pretty sure he still exists, guys. But he did tell me yesterday he was planning on getting some medication for his issues. So what I'm going to guess until there's me 6. Thank you, you animal man. Frickin' doing this for 2 whole minutes before you decide to wake the heck up. So what he told me yesterday, he was going to get some medication. So until I am told otherwise, until Lucky can clarify the whole story, I am going to assume that he probably took some painkillers because he wasn't feeling well and is probably crashed taking a nap somewhere. As you do, a much-earned nap. And of course, if you don't want Lucky to have to undergo manual labor anymore, consider supporting us on Patreon. Throwing us a sub, a dono, all that fun stuff. It's good for you. Join our channel memberships. Like some of these fine people, this episode brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHarbaugh, Kazan, blah, Ake How Comics, Ake Kazimia, Architect 10 Bucks, G, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Just the Fate, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Trevor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bob, Sarah Anthony, and Varian the Crow. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider joining us on Patreon. Again, so that, maybe Lucky doesn't have to do manual labor anymore. Hopefully that was enthusiastic enough for you. I am still on the Discord. If Lucky, suddenly wakes up or comes home or whatever the heck he is busy doing right now, I can jump in the recording and get him in, though I'm going to warn you there's going to be a slight bamboozlement there because I have to swap how my audio is done. But, yeah, we're here. I am your host, Omega. There is no other current host, Lucky. Like I said, I don't know what Lucky's doing right now. I'm pretty sure, I'm taking a educated guess, that he's probably passed out taking a nap somewhere because he was so exhausted and bamboozled that he was not able to do the show yesterday. So that's saying something. But we're here now. We would love to, see your support for Lucky as well, as always, when he's not here. Just like I hope when I'm not here due to whatever. Well, the second solo stream with me, Lucky's actually done a couple without me, so I guess I can catch up this way. Lucky misses stuff because work. I miss stuff because family. You know how it be. But we're here. I've scrolled past the intro because there's no Lucky intro today. All right. I have to call you out on stream because you're a blind motherfucker. Loth, you've sent me a DM about what's up, and, I'm literally streaming Let's Talk FGO sometimes. I called him a blind boob, so he knows what we're doing here. He was probably going to be like, hey, yo, do you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Not right now. No, I think I need to take a shower after this. Luth admits he is a blind boob. Okay. Anyway. Hello, everybody. I see quite a few of you here. You can currently see the actual show notes doc. We're once again doing, the behind-the-scenes secret move. So you can see the actual thing displayed here. Chat on the side. How you doing? As for, further plans, I don't know. We'll have to catch up on what's up stuff. Hopefully by Monday, where I will be streaming Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on Monday. We finished our Skyward Sword Let's Play with Lucky in the driver's seat, so you should go check that out. But, we'll have to see what else stuff we can get, which is a terrible shame, because I totally expected What's Up to be intense this week, because there was a lot of Star Wars news, and also I binged all of Ghost in the Shell 2045 again. But we'll have to talk about that at a later time. We're here for Let's Talk FGO. We apologize. The show has been delayed to this hour, but it is here. Now that I have given the Patreon intro and all the context, and we yelled at Lucky for being a goobus. Loth was goobed us. Lucky is non-existent. He's in the great bed burrito in his bedroom, probably. And if he's not, then you should definitely double support us on Patreon in case something has come up. But I don't think so. Like I said, I saw him bumming around on Discord and watching YouTube videos last night. I assume he just probably didn't sleep well. I'm not going to do my regular soundbite because, like I said, to avoid any weirdness with streaming, because I'm streaming off my machine, obviously. That I'm not going to do my regular soundbite cue for pro tips, but I will say that it is now time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai Worker checking for pro tips. So all of you probably know about this by now, but when the Servant Coin update dropped, there was a problem. Not everybody got all their Servant Coins. All your Bond Coins were good, but summons you did, I think, anytime last year. Or was it before the Lost Belt? It was before one of the big updates. Anyway, you didn't get your summon coins correctly, so a lot of you probably noticed if you didn't, either right away as you were going through your coins in your mailbox, which I did personally, just to check. It was astonishing to see some of those numbers. But if you checked your inventory later, you would have realized, oh, hey, I didn't get all my coins. They actually announced, hey, we caught the error. We're sorry. We had some maintenance off and on over the past week, and eventually it was fixed. You should have your proper amounts of coins now. Now, it doesn't mean that you still don't need a fuck ton of coins, but the coins issue did occur. So here we are. I really am diving through types. Yeah, some people have said, Olympus, APOC. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't really matter right now because it has been fixed. And, yeah, this is what happens when they give us shit early for FGO. It's been a long time since, we had, a lot of off and on random maintenance, right? Oh, Mr. Tarano's talking about, I mentioned earlier, in case you guys don't know, some of you may just be catching this Let's Talk GFGO special solo stream live for the first time. We actually stream quite a bit. Usually on this week, we stream What's Up, me and Lucky's podcast about whatever. We're obviously not doing that this week, but we'll do this instead. But every Monday evening, we also stream stuff, gameplay. For the past several weeks, I believe it's 8 streams, so 2 months. Lucky was playing Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. We're done with that. We're moving on to our next one, which we announced is Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I will be heading that up, so you can guarantee that will be happening Monday in some form. But yeah, so Servant Coins got distributed. It's correct now. But yeah, I'm kind of glad. I don't really see anybody in the community complaining about this, per se. just like, oh, hey, these are wrong. Well, hope it gets fixed because, this is what we're getting this like a year and a half early, year and a couple months early. It's still, hold on, I'm going to take a sip of my water. It's still like new and fresh and kind of funny how that works out. But FGO honestly used to be a lot more chaotic. Everybody remember, the great days of like 24-hour maintenance and all the other bullshit. And FGO seems a lot more stable since they've switched some of the engine stuff. I think since they switched to the Unity-based version or whatever. So it's, pretty solid out there. And hopefully, they resolved everything. We even got scooped a little bit. I'll talk about this now, but they did go ahead and install those mats into the game. They just haven't gotten you a way to get all of them yet, but they did say that they will be doing campaigns until they're available in main story. And you can even see this right now. If you haven't actually looked at the Vegas mats early, you can see it's in my outline already for a future spoiler. That we got some Lost Belt 5.5 mats early in the shop. There's like 10 of them, so they've spread some stuff around that you can get a hold of. It's pretty cool. No, I did not see any. I don't think so anyway. I don't remember anybody linking it on our Discord, and I don't really go on the subreddit anymore. So I don't know anything that was said at the localization panel. Maybe some summary stuff that people like bandied about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna go there. Yeah, you can see the notes. I did this last time I had to do a live one. That was because Lucky was busy with something home related. But yeah, so you can see my notes. Got all the regular stuff here. But yeah, so servant coins are fixed. I personally haven't done anything with them. I did total up all my stuff. I was quite surprised by how many gosh darn Summer Nobu ones I got, but I guess I did roll for Mao, and she was also the only one I got. Of course, my Tama Lancer coins were there to mock me when I got the re-up. But yeah, I haven't done anything crazy with them yet, but I should go over my ratios sometimes. I mean, if you guys want, I can take a second to like reach behind me and grab my phone and actually look at my inventory if you guys give a shit. But otherwise, we can, continue moving on with the showtime. Is Tama my most SSRs? I don't know. Okay. I mean, I won't show on screen, but I can tell you about it. Yeah, the 3-star coins are a little weird. Because I've got other NP3 SSRs. I just don't remember if I got all of them all at once. All right, hold on. I have to push my chair slightly back. And slightly risk my audio setup, but it doesn't matter. So I've reached behind, got my phone. All right, I will go ahead and start booting up FGO. While we're doing that, we can go ahead. No records and no evil other than the fact that we're doing this weird little thing again, So we can go ahead and talk about, did you finish your master missions? Probably. So you need to get 15 EXP drops and then 30 EXP drops, embers of any size. Defeat 20 enemies, not servants or bosses. Defeat 40 enemies, not servants or bosses. Defeat 3 king servants. Defeat 3 neutral servants. I'm pretty sure you can do this just by doing the event, and if you don't get the EXPs in the event right away, you can just farm dailies. I suspect this was probably based on farming dailies, because there was some stuff with the interlude time and whatever, but, it do be how it be. Also, on the matter of EXPs, I know that some people did kind of talk about how it really is such a slog with the QP and EXPs to actually, do the thing. All right, sort by held. Descend. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've just opened it up. So, Tama Lancer is actually, probably because I've had her the most and bonded her up, she is the most SSR. She's at 300 coins for her. She's not my most coins ever. I have 340 Saber Lily coins because I think I've gotten, 10 of them or whatever. I have 325 Summer Hime coins because I rolled a shitload for Summer Carmilla. We've got 300 Tamalancer coins, 260 Mordred coins, and that's, I've got Mordred at Bond 10, but I've only got her at NP2. 250 Emiya coins, 235 Steno coins, 230 Summer Nobu coins, 230 Fran coins. Those are not, by the way, the same MP level. 225 Calamity Jane coins. I guess I must have gotten a lot of extras I didn't think about rolling for Space Ishtar. 210 Musashi, 210 Tesla, 205 Little Da Vinci. So I guess that's just like one bond level, and then it just keeps going from there. So, and of course, to speak to Loth's point, the number of coins I have the least of are actually some silvers, just because you don't get a lot of extras for their summons. I've got like 5 Tota coins because I don't think I've ever bonded them up. But yeah, as somebody said in chat, the EXP thing is a serious issue if you want to actually do that. So on the post, when they talked about it, they said that it would be a big investment, and they were looking at ways to improve the EXP generation. So I'm pretty sure that means probably sooner than when it dropped in JP, we will get access to the enhanced dailies for more EXPs, 5 star EXP stuff, and some other things to kind of coincide. I don't know when that exactly will be. That could be like an upcoming Dead Week or Million Downloads, or they could save it for, July 4th weekend, probably for our actual anniversary. Our literal anniversary date is only like a month away, so that's not really that long, all things considered, especially because we'd still be getting the content ups early, right? But definitely don't know when they're going to do that, but it sounds like they're planning on making that adjustment as well, so we can get some stuff. Anniversary is probably right, Tyranno. I agree. Just because, like I said, the actual anniversary date is like only 30 days away, and then we wait like another half a week? Let me actually look at the calendar. Yeah, I mean, and then it wouldn't even necessarily be July 4th. It would be July 4th weekend, so you'd wait like half a week. The 28th on June is a Tuesday, so that's my current bet. We'll see. I think we're going to get there. We got plenty of content stuff to go through. But all right, that was Master Missions. I talked a little bit about my coins. Let's talk about the news. So the news details are kind of slim, but we do actually have some decent amount of news. I was very shocked by this. I kind of wish Lucky was here to give his opinion, but you guys can give me your opinions. So JP's big thing right now is Tunguska main interlude. Do not pass rerun. Go straight to main interlude. We're not even going to bother with that. We're just going to main interlude. I mean, obviously a main interlude is like another rerun, but different. There was a rerun of the banner, Taikobo and Dobrynya as well. There is a cumulative login bonus for 7 apples and Saint Quartz. Login for a total of 7 days, it says, to get 1 apple and 1 Saint Quartz a day. And if you clear the Tunguska epilogue during this time period, you get 10 Saint Quartz. Also, up to LB6, so not including Avalon Lefay, main quests are 0 AP. So we're going ham hocks on that. That story clear. They really want you to be ready for Lost Belt 6.5. Yeah, they have a booth, stream, so probably Saturday. Yeah, so the second enemy. Yeah, that's a good time. Yeah, if you are playing JP and you are behind on the story, now is your go-go gadget time, especially when you can bank your AP with more saplings. So yeah, they are rushing you towards being ready to do 6.5. So it seems like we're doing the whole rigmarole. We got a rerun of stuff. I mean, I'll admit, at least with it being the Taikobo Dobrynya banner, hella bait. Unless there's like a secret Sky of Darkness. Yeah, you can even see it right here in my notes. We do have a confirmed Traum stream on the 1st of June. I am assuming because they said it would be early June. They're going straight for whatchamacallit. They're going to drop it probably right away that night. Let me double check. Because I can't count on you guys to double-check me. Yes, I noticed all the comments about misremembering my Roman numerals. I said this on WhatsApp later. I definitely blame the fact that somehow our brain trust of patrons didn't catch it either. We all just went along with what I said. But the Traum stream, pre-release broadcast. So, our guests will be Okubo and Constantine's voice actor, Kamiya Shinshiro, and the MC will be Mafia Kachita. So, Mafia will be back to MC that event. Well, I know, Loth, we play Yu-Gi-Oh! Together. I know our relative dumbness levels. Please go watch Progression. I know that the title seems weird, but it was a very funny joke that we came up with and Loth said, but yeah. So, Trum has a stream coming on the 1st. I am reasonably certain that this means that it's probably going to drop, like, right the fuck away. They'll be like, hello, look at these. Look at these servants. Look at these icons. Bye. Boom. Look, new mats you have to farm. Bye. And they're going to leave. But to lead you up to that, we do also have one more thing going on. Advanced Quest 5 has come out. That started on the 27th of May. We're moving up to silver mats. We just have one bronze mat to take care of. You finally got your proof CE, you animals. But we immediately moved on to 2 more CEs for silver mats, feathers, and seashells. So yeah, we are full blown, like, every chance we get, every time they've got a dead week, they're adding like 2 or 3 of these advanced quests, and we're on to silver mats. At least, in terms of release date. But yeah, that's pretty rad. Hopefully we can work through all our year 1 mats and then move on to some new shit soon. Yeah, he was Dumuzid's voice actor, which is very funny because Constantine's like such a soft boy, but his voice actor is like actually quite deep in the register. You would probably give him the credit for Constantine because he's a playable character who was just summonable. But it is funny he did work previously. Playable Dumuzid when. But yeah, so, we got proofs now. I hope you guys are happy. That's the #1 mat I think everybody was bitching about. So, that's good. And now we do have any news. We talked about this a little bit last weekend, but yeah, the Las Vegas Championship match rerun got announced, starting on the 23rd, going until the 12th. So, decently long period of time. It's got all the usual rerun stuff, rare prisms, extra mana prisms, all that other stuff. And so, it seems pretty normal. The main thing is, I talked about this earlier, Lost Belt 5.5 mats, specifically Blazing Hearts, I believe it's called. I can double check what the actual mat is called. I can literally do that. I have my phone with me. But those are actually in this store. So let's see. What do we localize this as? I'll admit I am currently slowballing the rerun a little bit, but that's because it requires me to farm QP. It is Flaming Oni Lantern Plant. I'm just going to call those Oni Lanterns, probably, because Flaming Oni Lantern Plant is just fucking nonsensically long. It's freaking Japanese, and they're fitting like 4 words into 4 characters. It's bullshit. Curse you, character-based languages. But yeah, so Banner 1 is up. The Merlin banner is on Sundays once again. Let's see, that started the 23rd, so probably next Monday on the 30th, we should get Banner 2. Ah, yes, the flops. I mean, I could call them flops. I feel like people will lose that one. It is a burning leaf, I guess. Actually, that just raises a question. Why is it called a lantern plant? Because, like, I know that's a joke from our Star Wars AP, the lantern fruit, which is also, I think, I based that on a tree in Subnautica. But, like, I would assume lantern plants are probably like pitcher plants. Isn't that a carnivorous plant type? Anyway, the village is hidden in the burning leaves. because, the Leaf guys are the fire guys. Doesn't make any goddamn sense. But yeah, the 30th, next Monday, should probably be Banner 2. I may or may not have to roll on that one, because I did not secure the extra goo and get Buntoria last year. But also, Anniversary is pretty... Nah, Anniversary's like a month away. I don't think I got enough rolls. Yeah, the QP farming is red. I mean, I'm not upset about the QP farming. It's just that means I have to actually, to advance the story, I have to get, large numbers of QP. I've been at least spending my fever tickets every day. And if you need to know what a flop or an Oni Lantern looks like, look no further than this thumbnail. I tucked a few of them away in there. But in addition to the Vegas Returninator, with its very funny dialogue and great moments, still good. We also have, or at least are about to have, 1800 days. Going from the period of the 29th login for 10SQ. That is tonight, I believe, because it's technically the 58th to the 58th, the 28th to the 29th, 528 to 529. So it should be tonight's login. And you should get 10 sync quartz. Because yay. Oh, yeah, I think I got it. I should probably do that, because I think I did all the missions to get Hogusai's Ascension Mats again. You mean just with, you bet QP and then you try and get more QP payout? There are definitely events later which give you extra QP, I believe, literal QP farming, as in you build QP farms. Welcome to the QP fields, motherfucker. I believe that's this year's Guda Guda. The one with Himiko. So, that they definitely do systems like that occasionally. It's just a question of when and where and how much. Yeah, I remember the QP Fields memes. So that should be later this year. So we'll see some stuff. It's also... Is it Ska-Fest this year? Get your music jokes in now. So did we get our first Grailfriend this year? There's so many fucking Grailfriends. Yeah, I was pretty sure the Lotto was Ska-Fest this year. And by the way, if this is your first time watching live, first of all, our $10 and up patrons can watch every Let's Talk FGO live, regardless of the streaming or whatever. And this is what if you've ever heard me talking to chat, this is what we usually do. Is I will ask an off the quest Okay, so Ska-Fest is the first Grailfriend. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. What I was saying was, if you ever hear me asking these off-the-cuff questions that are not in my, show notes, not in my notes document before me, that's what I'm doing, is I'm literally being like, yo, chat, back me up. Because obviously, we're doing the show and running things and doing all this stuff. So, yeah, that should be fun. But that's all later this year. That's in the fall, as they say. In the fall down. But yeah, 1,800 days. Wow, time flies, doesn't it? This is actually technically show 242, at least by my counts of thumbnails. That includes several solo mode shows with Lucky and myself, though. But yeah, we're coming up on our 5 years as well, 250. Well, 250-ish. I think at this point the roll up, because there's 52 weeks in a year, it's actually 258. Is technically 5 years. I will probably still celebrate episode 250 as episode 250, and then actually our anniversary literally 2 months later. But anyway, math. I'm bad at it. We will not be doing mailbag today. Sorry, that's Lucky's thing. I don't do that when he's not here. It's just part of the professional professionalism and respect between us. I will probably do like I did last time I had to do one of these solo mode baby streams, and I will jaw with chat for, like, way too fucking long after I do the actual show bits of the show. But that's all the news as far as I know. I'm pretty sure I haven't missed anything. We're kind of in a slow roll. Like, obviously, we're doing a rerun right now. Everybody's very excited for all the QP. You know, I'll be glad to re-up my stocks, especially... it is kind of nice that they scheduled our Servant Coin update to match this summer rerun, because you do need a lot of QP for that. Oh, my God, you need so much QP. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to input on it. Like I said, I've been chipping away at it off and on while doing other stuff. Like I said earlier, I literally all day Thursday I was kind of very tired about stuff, so I just watched all of Ghost in the Shell 2045, including the season that already came out. Again, like I said, probably do What's Up type stuff on Monday. Talk to people about things I've been doing, news stuff. Or I'll just do that in the jawbone time at the end. But we have been going for about 30 minutes, which is fairly normal for news and stuff, you know, if we have some bants. And, of course, you, chat, are now the bants. You are the bants today. All of you collectively are my co-host. I have plugged you into a robot that will accumulate your responses. Twitch co-hosts, let's talk after you. No, it's not that bad. But, like I said, we will not do the usual mailbag gap. We don't really have any proper free talk stuff. Much like we didn't have any, records or evils. But this is our last show of this month of May. And we'll be married in the month of May. Sorry, I love the classical Link Fallout, modern Fallout borrowed song soundtrack. Very memorable to me. Remember all of them. But this is our last show of the month, so we will be doing Teach Omega Sensei and Fanservant Friday. I guess it is technically Fanservant Saturday now. If you drop the fan, that's Servant Saturday. So we'll do that. What is it? It sounds funny, but I believe the term is assonance when the sounds are the same. Or is that only the rear syllable is the same if it's assonance? Because it's still kind of alliteration. Fan-Servant Friday. Anyway, even though it's set, we'll do Fan-Servant Friday because it's also the last show of the year. And I'm not afraid to faff either. We love to faff down here. Oh, sorry. A little bit of a dry burp. Actually, before I get to Teach Me, though, I'm sorry, I hate to leave you, but my water bottle is empty, and I'm going to have to talk a lot. So, I'll leave you guys, waiting for anticipation. And we'll tab back over to the standby screen, and I am going to go fill up my water bottle, and I will be right back, and then we shall begin the Teach Me segment. So, intermission here. Can I legally play that sound? Hold on. I'm going to do something experimental, because I can. Oh, thank God. YouTube's autocomplete is 10 hours. All right. All right, so hopefully that's working okay. I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully that was, enjoyable and smooth for all of you. But we're back now. There's my transition back. Okay. I'm glad that worked. So, this was not necessarily voted on, but it was number 2 in our poll last month. Because, obviously, there was a lot of White Titan stuff in Lost Belt 5 Part 2 in particular. So, we asked you, would you guys like to get a plot summary of EXTELLA and figure out what was up with the White Titan? People actually voted on Ultimate ones first, but since it was a 2v2, 1v1 rather, it was a 2-part poll, we just did this by default. I do not know for sure if we have a Teach Me next time, but we might get into EXTELLA Link's plot and things. I think I actually did all the roots for that game, because I was very, very disappointed because we tried to have a timely Let's Play, and Marvelous were assholes about it. Anyway, I have a full water. It's in a glass bottle, so you probably can't hear it slosh around. I have a full bottle of water, though, so we may begin the exposition. Put on your glasses, please. So, if you don't know, Fate EXTELLA, the Umbral Star, that's the full title, was released in Japan in 2016, in November, I believe, and was localized and released in North America, and I think everywhere, PL at least, also in January 2017 for PS4 and Vita. The Switch port and PC port came later, but it did, in fact, come out. That's an interesting strategy, Loth. So, still available for PS4. Probably not available for Vita, rip. It's on PC, it's on Steam, and Switch. So the primary writers we got for this were Nasu, Kanoki Nasu himself, and Hikaru Sakurai. Wada Arco provided the art style, in the vein of Extra. The game was developed by Marvelous. It's a Muso or Warriors type game, so you beat up many, many little tiny baby enemies with big hack and slash combos. This being the first game, some of the stuff's a little rough. Like, there's some glaring weaknesses in some of the systems, some easy exploits. But it's still pretty fun. I think Link has a lot smoother animations and combos and stuff, but, for what it is, it's pretty good. So, EXTELLA is set in an Extra-style universe. Definitely an Extra world, but in an Extra-style universe. And if you're curious about more about that, we've done full breakdowns of Extra and of CCC previously, or at least of Extra-type worlds and the Moon Cell. So if you're looking for those kinds of things, you can go back and check out those previous Teach Me's. There's a playlist. This is already in that playlist because, it's the stream, and I can I can pre-playlist it. Yes. So, it's got all that behind it, but it is not, strictly speaking, a sequel to Extra in a direct sense. I believe Takuchi has a quote about it which says it the best. It has the blood of Extra in it, but it was designed as an independent story. You can play without having to actually play Extra, as I did. I did not actually get a chance because I never owned a PSP. And emulators were goobus. But yeah, so you can go directly into this without playing Extra. Because it is inspired by, it takes place in a similar world, but it is not meant to be a direct sequel. Now, this means that Nasu came up with an extensive backstory to clarify all the setting and stuff, and posted it on his blog, and he called it EXTELLA 0. Please, Mr. Nasu, put this kind of shit in the body of the text. I'm sorry. It's just like, if you have to ask the question, did Nasu write an elaborate backstory for this piece of Fate media? The answer is yes, and he put it on his blog, and it's not in the frickin' main text, no. But anyway, some of it is implied. Like, obviously, because he was one of the central writers on EXTELLA anyway. Obviously, like, he probably had the EXTELLA 0 setup stuff, like, in his mind when he wrote the plot anyway, so threads of it are interworked throughout the dialogue, but it's one of those things where, like, there's a lot of as-you-know type shit. Anyway, so the gist of this, of EXTELLA 0 and, related flashback material is EXTELLA place takes? I'm literally looking at my notes. You think I could fucking speak. Read along with me, chat. Tell me if I'm correct. So, EXTELLA takes place after a version of the extra story. The Zero story that Nasu published uses male Hakuno, though in-game you can pick your gender and name. You do not have to go with Hakuno Kishinami, but the one used in the setup was male. He had Nero as his servant. He goes through a version of the Tournament of Extra and the CCC type events, meeting Tamo along the way. I believe Tamo's master was canonically the Medea's master from FSN, who was only shown in Unlimited Blade Works. But she tags along through some of the later chapters and through the CCC chapters. I believe the way they phrase it is Hakuno thinks of CCC as like a weird dream he had, but it explains how he has met CCC characters like Liz, Karna, etc. Hakuno also faces and defeats a female version of himself as an NPC who has Nameless Mume, aka Emiya, as her servant. And in the end, ultimately, Hakuno wins the Moon Cell Holy Grail War. He is granted an item called the Regalia. It represents and embodies the supreme authority of the Moon Cell as its ruler. He gets the Magic God button. However, when our story starts, something mysterious has happened, causing the Regalia and Hakuno to be split. Hakuno is split into their mind, body, and soul. This division is the basis for the three main roots of the story. Each has a different heroine and different supporting characters. Note, this is like Fate's Day Night. The roots are sequential. You cannot pick your poison. You have to do Flame Poem, then Orchid Words, then Dawn, and then Golden Poem. Spoilers. By the way, that's right, I forgot, because Lucky didn't do his intro. In case you haven't noticed it, there will be a spoiler warning for all of this. We will be spoiling some stuff. But also, this game is, like, literally 5 years old. This game is in fact, older than the FGO's localization. Funnily enough, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so the first route, Flame Poem, is Nero's route. Nero's faction has Hakuno's mind, so critical thinking, all that kind of stuff, and has the team of Ku, Li Shuen, Gawain, and Nameless. Orchid Words is Tamo's route. Tamo's faction has Hakuno's soul, so they're like emotions and instinct. And has Lubu, Do Not Pursue. And yes, in case you missed this, there is absolutely a semi-Do Not Pursue Lubu joke when you do Flame Poem, because you have to fight Lubu. He gets powered up, and the game is like, don't fuck with him until you've defeated the thing powering him up. Karna, Medusa, and Liz. Dawn is Altera's route. Altera's faction has Hakuno's body, who doesn't have any of their mind or soul stuff, and access to Iskandar, Gilgamesh, and Jean. That is also a true route, Golden Poem, I mentioned earlier. You can access this after completing all the other routes. And additionally, each playable character, including, of course, stock hidden character Artoria. Yes, you can unlock her, and yes, she is called Artoria. I mean, Tamo's team is heavily weighted. She's got Lubu and Karna, but the Liz is like an active detriment to her team because she doesn't get along with Tamo. And Medusa is kind of neutral as far as power level goes. It's also hampered by the fact that Tamo has access to Hakuno's soul, who is just kind of goes with the flow and whatever nonsense Tamo comes up with. Nero is packing, fucking Ku, Li Shuen, Gawain, and Nameless. And yes, they do absolutely do the Gawain buffs if you play the other stories or if you fight Nero's team. She will absolutely have Gawain get juiced up on Sun Juice and activate New Rule of the Saint. It's funny how that works. Yeah, Karna's great. If you do Karna's side story, he basically solos everybody, including the final boss, who we'll talk about in a second. No. She's actually, like, this is the first localization in a while, but we had Artoria as her name, which is a probably more correct spelling than Altria, and I believe they got away with it when they did the second localization for the sequel, too. It's just a weird... It's a weird wonk that specifically the direct access of Type Moon or Delightworks now into Los Sengel has with Aniplex US that they decide to do it the weird Ultria way. It reminds me of a hilarious, funny tweet where they were talking about, coming soon, Castoria. No, Castria. And just everybody being like, ugh. Miss me with that shit. But yes, Artoria is a hidden character in the game also. But all of them have their own much shorter side story routes. Basically, you do a couple of stages, you fight the final boss, you get a special ending slide. Medusa's ending, by the way, is she puts Tamo back under the rock and seduces Hakuto because she feels like Tamo's being too evil. This is what's holding Tamo's team back, by the way. Lubu is a powerhouse, but also he will do the betray. He's known for that one. I'm just making jokes. So the basic plot of the first arcs is pretty normal. Basically, to actually do the thing and bring order because the whole moon cell has, the moon cell, the Seraph serial phantasm has literally turned itself into a horrifying battleground. It actively creates war zones and robot soldiers so our servants can fight. Hakuno needs to get that shit sorted out, so they have to get all their bits back and get all the regalia back to assert control over the moon cell, which has been turned into a war zone. And there is a dark presence lurking in the zero dark sector of the moon cell's computer brain, and it needs the power of the regalia to remove it. It is the Velber. So, the Velber, a.k.a. the Umbral Star, it's called both, is some kind of extraterrestrial space bullshit, which has a lot of symbolism of eyes and also giant diamonds. There's a lot of diamond-shaped Velber things, and also some eyeballs. It's said to, look like crying and tears and stuff. Yeah, if you do Lubu's story, he's just waiting for the right moment to betray Tamamo. And he is stopped by a mental vision of Chen Gong, who's just like, it's not quite time yet. I think in the end he just does it, if only because it would be too lame. He wants to keep fighting the good fight until the very best moment to betray. It's very funny. And I do believe that is Chen Gong's first canonical appearance. Is in Lubu's side story. But yeah, so the Umbral Star, the Velber, is bad news. They orbit through the Milky Way every 14,000 years, roughly, picking off intelligent civilizations they run into, developing living weapons called anti-cells based on the information of already defeated civilizations. It is implied through some dialogue that they do this to prevent too much life from wandering around in the universe and causing the time tree to get too gummed up. Yeah, they established that Chen Gong looks a lot like Ronnie, which is funny because Fate Extra already established that Ronnie looked a lot like Lubu's wife, which is why Lubu listened to her. It's like a weird double resemblance thing. But anyway, so this has to go with, we've talked about quantum time locks and the tree of time and all that stuff. Basically, the running theory we have, the grand unifying Nasuverse theory, is that timelines are like a tree constantly branching out. This is the pruning theory and everything. So we have this issue where if there's too much stuff going on, too many branching timelines, the universe will run out of energy or something, basically calculating and keeping track of all this time bullshit. This is why the theoretical pruning phenomena happens, which we know extensively about via lost belts and stuff like that. So it seems like the Velber may be part of this system. And yes, they may just be anti-spirals. This game also explained us to quantum time locks and stuff. Anyway, they're due for another pass soon, which will probably do us in if they find it. Luckily, the moon cell is said to be a similar sort of construct to the Velber. If they're directly related is ambiguous. The terms could be translated a couple different ways, as far as I understand. They are said to be the same sort of being, but whether or not they're literally the weird diamond of the Velber and the weird cube of the moon cell were made by the same thing is a little unclear. But anyway, the moon cell is a powerful enough space computer that it can jam their navigational systems and prevent them from finding Earth, but only if we have the full power of the regalia to kick out the Velber contact that's already here. We got to get rid of that shit so that we don't get the tracking signal going in there. Now, you find out on all routes that the reason why the regalia is split is because your suspiciously new advisor, Archimedes, Archie, was evil all along. Nobody could have guessed it. He was hacked by the Velber, actually, even though he's a Mooncell admin, and attempted to destroy the regalia. He injured Hakuno and caused the split. When you inevitably reach the point where you will complete the regalia again, he usually reveals his true motives. He attempts to awaken the White Titan Sephar and have her punch you. And then when he fails, he uses admin powers to jump timelines like a dirty little bitch. Yes, he literally leaves this timeline to go to another one. But basically, he's trying to guarantee the invasion of Velber right around a quantum time lock so it actually gets locked in. And actually, the splitting of the regalia and Hakuno is like right as a quantum time lock occurs, so that will always happen. It's just a matter of, can we make sure that the Velber are stopped? So, who then is Sephar? Honestly, if you, side tangent, but there's a really interesting thing with the credits of EXTELLA. If you watch them, there are these, like, glowing circuit board lines that you see, some of which, like, look like they go dark, some of which stay lit. The true ending stays up lit the brightest. This is basically a subtle clue if that universe will actually continue. That timeline will not be pruned because it, gets eaten by Velber. So, hypothetically, he may or may not be doing this a fucking lot. Because we know that, like, basically every character's side story is potentially a different timeline plus the main routes, which are all their own timelines. But yeah, so Sephar, which the NA localized as Sephar, it is not technically incorrect based on the Japanese characters, but I believe the reasonably accepted Romanized spelling of this, what they're actually taking the name from is Sephar, as in S-E-F-A-R. Sephar. But I could see how you could get Sephar. Sephar. Anyway, in real life, the Great God of Sephar is a famous cave painting in the Sephar Wadi of Tassili in Alger National Park, located in modern Algeria. Let me do some some slam jamming for you. Let me. I think that's sort of repainted. Yeah, it's a tiniest painting. Here we go. This is a good one. Yeah, so. And now let me recombine. That work? Yeah. Okay. This is the painting. Don't mind the stock image shit. It belongs to whoever took this stock image thing, but yeah. Sephar is supposed to be this is slightly off center. Let me recenter it a little. Sephar is the big chungus over here. So yeah, there's a big white cave painting looming over like the oxen and antelope and stuff. So there you go. That's the actual image. And now let me scooch this and recenter this again. So yeah, this is a cave painting. It's very famous. It's located in, like I said, the Sephar Wadi of Tassili National Park. The art in Tassili is estimated to be somewhere around 12,000 years old. And yes, Popeye biceps. If you look at Sephar's actual art, you guys can Google that one for yourself. It's not entirely off base. In EXTELLA, however, it is explained that Sephar was actually sent by the Velber Core. The Core Velber is known as the Harvester Star, to wipe out Earth during its prehistoric period. Her vessel was called Velbor 02. It attacked the moon cell and transmitted her anti-cell form to Earth, where it wiped out most of our advanced civilizations at the time, such as Atlantis. We know that one now. Defeated most of the gods who were around at that time. Canonically, this includes the 12 Pillars, a.k.a. the 12 Olympians. And based on some stuff Tamamo says, had at least one scuffle with Amaterasu. Safar even took the God of War's sword for herself. The White Titan was defeated by an unnamed hero of humanity who wielded the holy sword filled with the breath of the planet, the sword of promised victory, Excalibur. And I think that's even one of my thumbnails. It's a canon shot. We've showed it to you before on streams and stuff. But yeah, so this really paved the way for, like, you know, the start of the end of the Age of Gods and all that other fun stuff. And obviously will be very important later. Loth, how did you misspell that? You can literally, it's right here. I know it wants to say Zephyr. Are you on mobile? But, like, it's right there. That's how it's spelled. But Sephar, as Filthy Weeaboo said. But, yeah, so, beat up all the gods and got blasted. No, this would have been pre-Heroic Heroic Spirit Summoning. Just, the joke I use later is Cave Toria. Most people like to joke that it was a Saberface. We don't know, but it's not. It wasn't a summoned hero. It was just some caveman had access to the Sword of Promised Victory and defeated Safar. Fucking hilarious, I know. Anyway, the Velbor 02 still left some remnants behind. It was able to preserve its spirit core. It ejected its, tiny backup unit, which was hidden away in the Sahara Desert until the elders of the Hun tribe found it and raised it as Attila the Hun. This is why Altera is Attila. Though she prefers to be called Altera because that's her actual name, and she thinks it's cuter. That's canon to her interlude. I assume the Sahara is because of the Tassili cave paintings, and also probably fits with that one theory that Atlantis was actually, like, in the Sahara Desert before it got desertified, even though that doesn't make any gosh darn sense. That's clearly where the serpent folk were. Come on. Pre-Cambrian extinction. But yeah, so that's where Altera comes from as Attila the Hun. She was, like, the literal emergency backup drive they plugged out. Well, its subtitle is always the Sword of Promised Victory, but it's being the, like, most famous sword, both I think in a lot of real life mythology and also in Fate. It has like 50 different subtitles. The Sword of the Breath of the Planet, the most powerful holy sword, the Sword of Promised Victory. It's got a lot in there. I threw some in there to be excess. Anyway, so that's where Altila as Altera is. Canonically, we know this starting mostly, I think, from Lost Belt 2, but in general, we know this from some other stuff. That Odin canonically based his Valkyries on Safar's form and abilities. This also plugs a plot hole created by the Volsunga saga. Yes, you knew I was going to talk about this, I hope. Where the character of Attila, Etzel, calls Brynhildr little sister. So basically, all Valkyries can be seen as Altera's younger sisters, even though mythologically the Volsung saga is just like, what the fuck? Seriously, why the hell? I don't think so. It is a noble phantasm. It's not a person. It's not an autonomous noble phantasm. It still needs somebody to swing it. It's the Sword of Amplifying. That's another subtitle. So you need something to amplify. But yeah, so all the Valkyries can be seen as Altera's younger sisters. Also, Safar's physical remains became divided spirits. Basically, they took part of her essence. And became the Gigantes, the giants of the Gigantomachia. Allegedly, by the way. I read that on the Type Moon Wiki. It's sourced to some lines in Lost Belt 5, Part 2. I don't really remember that being explicit, but I could have glossed over that. I will accept that if it's true, but I just want to warn you, my citation of that is semi-limited. It kind of tracks given all the trouble that the White Titan caused the Olympians, though. So, in Extella's timeline, because the Velbur 2 core ship actually landed on the moon cell and invaded that first, part of Safar's original programming remained quarantined in the Zero Dark sector. And so when Attila the Hun of Earth awakened, her memories and experiences ended up back with this core, who appears in the Extella game as Titan Altera, the big Altera. The way they talk about it is basically Titan Altera experienced actual Attila the Hun's memories like as a dream, kind of like the way they described Artoria experiencing Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night, because she technically wasn't dead yet. So Titan Altera gets Attila the Hun's memories beamed back to her. She used this to create her regular form, Hero Altera. It's, a whole thing. It's sometimes very confusing. There's a lot of Alteras. This is even before the actual alternate Alteras they give us. So in non-extra worlds, EX worlds, where there is no moon cell, Velbur O2 was forced to attack Earth directly. This means that the core ship was destroyed by the prehistoric cave Toria. So there's no Titan Altera occurred, but we generally don't have to worry about this plot point then. Basically, if there was no moon cell to invade first, the Velbur core ship actually directly attacks the Earth's surface and thus is able to be blown the fuck up. And all the stuff still happens. It's just there's no, digital backup of Altera somewhere to receive the data. This means that for FGO, I believe we have been confirmed to be in a non-extra world because the planet's not dead and we haven't, found the moon cell on the moon in, the 60s or whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember. You guys can go back and check out that episode where I talk about the moon cell and extra timelines. But, we're working on all that stuff ourselves. So, in Extella, you achieve the golden ending when basically Body Hakuno uses their regalia to transmit their memories back in time to Mind Hakuno in a new timeline, basically giving them the entire plot ahead of time. It's great. It's hilarious, because the Dawn arc is so fucking... Extella in general, really fucking sad. The Dawn arc, heartbreaking. Awful. Kills me every time. But basically, it's very satisfying when you boot this up and I'm like, Mr. Archimedes, you're being a smug fuck. Well, the White Titan as it was won't appear normally, because the Velbur core is destroyed, and we already canonically know that the normal events happened. It does not mean that because we jump timelines, we can't run into an alternate Altera or White Titan or whatever. We have access to the whole Servant universe and shit. But yeah, it's very fun to get your smug dunk on Archimedes. Anyway, they get Nero and Tombo to actually team up. You defeat Archimedes early. You try and save Altera. So not only do you get to contain Safar, but as... sorry, I think my grammar's loading. Yeah, but also using the power of the Sword of Mars to become Saber Venus, Nero destroys the Velbur O2 core ship as well, thus preventing the Velbur from actually homing in on it right as the time log occurs to get dunked on Archie. But yeah, basically, Archie fucks up royally. You use all your combined power to actually destroy the core. And yes, Altera does survive as another childlike core. This is Altera Larva. We may discuss her role in an actual hypothetical future talk about Extella Link. Now, we are informed that the Umbral Star has 2 more anti-cell weapons, Velbur 01, described as older brother, and Velbur 03, described as younger sister. We don't know if or when that'll come up, because obviously the ending of Extella is to bamboozle the Umbral Star, but they will still be in our neighborhood doing their rounds. There's implications that we will eventually have to deal with the Umbral Star in Extella's timeline, but because the quantum time lock and destroying the core in the golden ending, you don't have to deal with it, right the fuck away. They're not going to immediately go, hey, there's those assholes we missed last time. Let's go fuck their shit up. Also, Extella would still be set several years from now in the future. Just as a heads up. I'm pretty sure Extella is still in, the 2030s. So even if we assume that FGO is actually occurring in, the 2020s, which I do believe canonically it is not, because time is not flowing normally as we are completing Cosmos and the Lost Belt, the Arc 2. So I don't even know if we're actually in the 2020s yet, canonically in FGO. Somebody would have to count up all of the time skips and stuff. But yeah, so the Umbral Star is still fucking around and will eventually be getting back to moving through the Milky Way, but the timing is actually ambiguous. Somebody earlier talked about how, with the alien god and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know for sure. Because remember that in Lost Belt 5 Part 2, Zeus says that they could not analyze the White Titan. Yeah, it should still be around 2019 or 2020. Like I said, time's not flowing ordinarily. But Zeus says that they could not analyze the White Titan. She was like something completely anathema to them, absolutely like not normal. But they were able to understand the functions and actually integrate with the trees of fantasy. So I assume that the alien god is not necessarily directly related to the Velber. We'll see if we bring that back up. Obviously, I think a lot of the mechanics of both the White Titan and also, like I said earlier, all that quantum time lock and, the pruning phenomena and the branching of timelines like a tree, that's all very much heavy-hitting stuff actually in Part 2 in the Cosmos and the Lost Belt. But, there, even if this just comes from the eventual actual EXTELLA sequel, which there is supposed to be a proper sequel to EXTELLA coming sometime, I think we got to get extra record out of the way first, please, Nasu. But it's still kind of, like I said, kind of ambiguous. Now, the Velber are pretty high in our cosmic tier list. Nasu even has a literal power level to describe the White Titan. But, we'll get back to that. Their core ships are resistant to anything that classes at anti-fortress or below, so only, like, anti-country, anti-planet type noble phantasms can reliably damage them. Their void cells, which are like Spiritrons but evil, can corrupt native light forms, turning them into horrible monsters, or turning intelligent life into servitors. This happens to Archimedes and Elizabeth Bathory, who becomes Void Liz or Corroded Liz. And their actual anti-cell big bosses are anti-civilization, anti-world weapons who are capable of fighting a whole planet on their own. Safar's skin is described as harder than stone and able to withstand the heat of stars. So keep in mind, this is in the same sentence where they talk about how Safar is currently getting blown the fuck up by Excalibur. So we also know that in terms of like tier listing, in the timeline of Lost Belt 5, Zeus Voltroned all the other gods and became a being powerful enough to defeat Safar, which saved their bodies. Otherwise, Safar actually went on a full-blown rampage and destroyed all the god ships. It was probably pretty cool and metal as hell, but we will literally never see it. Sucks for us, huh? Additionally, it is canonically stated power level-wise. Like I said, there's a literal graph. It involves many zeros. At all 9 tails, Gold-furred, white-faced Fox Amaterasu is about as powerful as the max power output of Safar, which is a lot of power. But also to put that in perspective, that means that at full power, Safar is about as strong as a personification of the sun. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal, guys. This also may or may not be why all the Olympian gods combined together, which would be roughly akin to Chaos, would work, because Chaos was supposed to be a Dyson sphere. So that may be why altogether they were able to defeat it. Sorry, I took a sip of water there and let chat roll by. But, Excalibur, Sword of the Planet, the crystallization of all mankind's hopes for victory, was able to overcome Safar, but that's probably because the weapon is of most use against an enemy of the planet itself. It was, born from the sea of the planet. It wields the breath of the planet as its light. It reflects the light of the planet. Like, there's a lot of planet. If you go to, like, Type Moon Wiki and read the description of Excalibur, be careful, though, because there's probably, like, greater meta-context spoilers there. But if you did, and you control F to planet all the time with a capital P, you'd probably, you'd have a fun time. It's a lot, for sure. It's for sure a lot. Well, I'm pretty sure, especially if that Gigantes is there, they did in fact defeat uh, Safar. Like, she's dead. That was the whole point of the Lugia Machia. They did not get destroyed that timeline. Anyway, so this is the White Titan that your boy Big Zam was spent a lot of time talking about, and how tough she was, her, general relationship around the Nasuverse, while also running through the basic plot of EXTELLA. EXTELLA's plot is actually kind of simple. It's because it's divided into, like, 3 parts. A lot of it is character studies of the various heroines, but the crux of it is the whole thing, and it's very sad. And if you want to see the plot of EXTELLA, by the way, that's a pretty early Let's Play on our channel. I'm pretty sure you can find that entire playlist. That was not streamed. That was actually done, like, full-blown Let's Play style. I was shooting, like, 30-minute segments, like 2 or 3 a day. You can watch the whole thing. I think I also do Medusa's side story. I tried to do this with EXTELLA Link, but Marvelous were assholes, so we didn't. But yeah, so that's our run-through of EXTELLA. So, to kind of tie this back to FGO, though, we got some other stuff here. So, as you note, EXTELLA Link was released in Japan in 2016. This is after FGO. FGO came out in 2015 there. FGO obviously has Altera as a launch unit. She has a bare minimum of story relevance in Septum. She kind of comes out of nowhere. There's a bit of foreshadowing about her nature. Some of her skills are kind of weird, and they're like, oh, yeah. Check out this mysterious stuff. Apparently, at least I read this on the internet, some people thought when EXTELLA actually came out in Japan that all this super mega extra plot stuff was attributed to Altera by Sakurai, because Sakurai is Altera's scenario writer in FGO. I believe they were also the Septum writer. But Nasu later clarified it was all him, which you could have guessed because it's obviously those elements that were woven into Lost Belt 5. And of fucking course it was Nasu's idea. Have you been paying attention? Like, who else but Nasu would be oops aliens? Like, I can't even imagine. Of course it was Nasu's fucking idea. Maybe they didn't realize how sci-fi Nasu was because they weren't paying attention. But damn. No, it was his idea. The general impression I get, it's not exactly sourced, but the general impression I got is that Altera was envisioned by Nasu for her role in EXTELLA first. And he did actually say, I believe, in his blog that Altera was, like, EXTELLA's plot was sketched up first before FGO even came out. And I don't even believe he was he did the overarching stuff, like he gave them some notes, but he wasn't directly involved with writing story chapters in FGO for a while. But the thing was that EXTELLA was probably supposed to come out a lot closer to FGO's initial release. I have heard before it quoted as saying it was supposed to come out around the same time or it was supposed to come out before. I don't actually have any hard sourcing on those quotes, so I don't know exactly where the base plate, the strike zone was. But I do have source quotes from Nasu, like on his blog, saying that developing EXTELLA ended up taking a lot longer than FGO, so EXTELLA came out quite a bit later. And Altera's appearance and abilities in FGO ended up basically being a basic cameo that Sakurai wrote. Sakurai also helped to write EXTELLA, so it was kind of like a, mention thing in, kind of a subtle foreshadowing to the game that was going to come out later. And so it wasn't until many years later that Nasu and some of the other writers were able to actually go back in and properly stage several of those elements in FGO. Obviously, the Lost Belts are very heavily tied into the plot points of EXTELLA with, the pruning phenomena of timelines and the quantum time locks and stuff. That's all, very much evident in, actually in, Lost Belts. I've been talking about this since the beginning of the plot arc, that EXTELLA is actually, like, really important for the greater meta plot. Honestly, it's kind of funny. It's, like I said, it seems like timing-wise, like, Nasu seemed to be putting the bulk of his writing attention on working on EXTELLA while it was being developed. And thus, he was not there for, like, some of the early story chapters of FGO, and then kind of had to come back in later and start rounding out those last couple chapters in FGO's Part 1 himself. But also, obviously, like, the White Titan is, like, directly name-dropped and discussed in Lost Belt 5. So it's going to be kind of a big deal, actually being integrated in the canonicity. And those were done by Nasu, so that kind of, like, really lets you know those were definitely his ideas. Now, as our final note in this Teach Me, this lovely time we're having, yeah. That doesn't make any goddamn sense, especially with if they talk about the Gigantes thing. But Nasser does have a terrible habit of clarifying things outside. I mean, it would make sense. Tamo talks about Amaterasu fighting Velber O2, and, like, power levels, they're supposed to be similar, but it's also given that Amaterasu kind of lost the fight. That may just be because she didn't want to blow up the planet or something. That's certainly not how it was presented when Zeus is actually giving this exposition in Lost Belt 5. Maybe Nasu wanted Safar to be even more swole because she's cool or something. Than the timelines, whatever. But like I said, that's not how it comes out in the body of the text. Once again, Mr. Nasu, please, for the love of God, it's like death of the author type shit. You need to actually put your details in your story. If you say it later, it doesn't count. People might not have access to that information. I know that Fate's pretty popular, and we usually get access to these interviews and translations and stuff. But, like, this is the kind of detail that should be in your main text. Or at the very least, like, publish your letters or something J.R. Tolkien style later, and when you, like, think about these things. Anyway, my final bullet point is just all of this discussion about the timing of EXTELLA is actually kind of funny, because for NA and the other countries piggybacking off the English release of FGO, because it's still kind of sort of officially the NA server, it's basically reversed. We got the EXTELLA localization first by several months. It came out in January of 2017. Like six-ish months before FGO actually dropped. I was playing EXTELLA when I realized that they announced for sure that they were going to do the FGO localization. That gave us, as the broader English and other PAL country speaking groups, well acquainted with Altera's true history before FGO came out, which a lot of people I have talked to, both at the time and later, have said that as a result, Altera's appearance in Septum is kind of underwhelming because that there's a lot more going on with her as a character. If you've played EXTELLA anyway, and you've had access to this information. I mean, it's more just there's a logical conundrum where, one, again, about the Gigantes thing, if that's actually correct, like I said, that's not cleanly sourced, then it doesn't make any sense that they didn't, quote-unquote, defeat Velber, unless the Velber Safar divided her spirit origin into more forms to try and beat them. I mean, you could argue that I guess that just means that the core isn't, the core ship just isn't where the Lost Belt physically covers, but it would have to be somewhere on Earth if it didn't get blown up by a hero. Which also means that the Velber would be coming back. Zeus never worries about... It's just one of those things where it's like, Nasu, it's really a lot easier if the Olympians just won than if you overcomplicate it with, oh, they drew because we don't want to degrade the power level of Safar or something. Because there's, like, shitloads of plot stuff about that going on. Like, the fact that Safar isn't fully defeated in the Mooncell timeline is kind of the thing that, Archimedes is working towards. It's just, as the guy who, like, tries to pick through these things and write these segments for you, it adds extra questions. Nasu could save himself and us a lot of work if he just admitted certain characters are capable of actually just fucking losing. And we don't feel the need to fluff the badass level, because power levels are bullshit, everybody. Everything is fake. There are no rules. Whatever happens is just whatever we decide is the coolest. But yeah, so it's, like I said, I was not super impressed, especially because, like I said, I'd played EXTELLA well before FGO came out. Sandra, we are doing a special live Let's Take FGO. I have still not heard from Lucky. I am going to continue to assume he is asleep somewhere. He did not have a good time at the work, and so he has been asleep. So we're running through the news and stuff. You've just missed Teach Me. How long has this been going, by the way? How long have we been streaming? About an hour. Sounds about right. But yeah, it's just... Oh, hour 22, sorry. It took a while for my counter to log up. It's even better. Nice. But no, to actually finish my thought, yeah, it's always been kind of funny the way the localization timing works out. Like, even if you didn't directly play EXTELLA, you could still access the internet and be like, who the fuck is this Altera character? Interesting. Space alien. Got it. And then, like, FGO basically doesn't do anything with that. Though, obviously, like... Technically, some of Altera's mannerisms were established in FGO before EXTELLA came out. Her jokes about good civilization and bad civilization actually predate EXTELLA, so, like, the couple of times that comes up in EXTELLA are kind of, like, you know, inside jokes. And it works almost the other way around. It's a little weird and funny. But you can really see the timeline lag involved because, like I said, it takes... literal years for FGO to actually wrap around to working in the backstory elements of Altera, stuff like the Valkyries being based on Safar and whatever. Though, again, some of that just has to do with Nasu's, like, mad syncretism skills. He's like, the Volsung saga says that Attila the Hun called Brynhildr sister. That doesn't make any goddamn sense in anybody's mythology, but by God, it's canon. I will make it work. And I'm just like, Nasu, you madman. Why? You already did the weird... Well, somebody, anyway. We don't know who writes all the events. Somebody already did the weird joke in the fake Heroic Spirits where Bryn calls Jolter One-sama, though in, like, a gay way. It's just... mad weird, y'all. Yeah, so if you're asking about Archimedes in EXTELLA, he's a bad guy. He got hacked by the big bad before the story even starts, so he is the secret guy trying to destroy you the whole time. He actually hates humanity. He's really yelly. He uses his death beam laser. And so he's just kind of an asshole. But in EXTELLA Link, the like partway sequel, you can run into a regularly summoned Archimedes who is not corrupted. Who acts more normal, if still a bit of a goofus. So it would be very interesting to see in, like, FGO if they actually made regular Archimedes, like, playable. And it would probably be like that thing FGO does where they make characters who are normally... get in there. Yeah, the Skahak equals... Like, at least that one makes sense because she's a Lost Belt character, but the Skahak Scotty thing is, like... I think I talked about it at length in the Wanted. It's, like, the weirdest bit of, like, etymology. And, like, there are actually etymological theories that Skahak, who is, you know, Celtic in origin, you know, leaning to the Irish mythology, and... the Scotty etymology are, like, supposed to be the same, but it's still, like, loosey-goosey enough that it's a loose theory. But, you know, they explain it at least through alternate timeline shenanigans, like everything. But yeah, actual Archimedes was never a people person, and he's even got some weird skills. He's got, oh, what character was it that came out fairly recently who had aptitude for slaughter? Because he's got a version of that as a caster, because a lot of his inventions and simple machines were used for warfare, including, obviously, his death ray, which is his noble phantasm, is the death ray that melts ships. Well, the combination is a god did it, but the linking of, like, yes, I was able to link with this body. Oh, yeah, is it Koyan of Light? Yeah, that's a funny... It's very funny, honestly, if you think about it. But yes, no, Archimedes canonically has a version of that skill because his inventions are so good at destroying people and were, like, misused, even though he really didn't give a shit. He just wanted to be in his bathtub. Eureka, damn it. But yeah, Archimedes, I think, is one of the more wanted EXTELLA characters. I think we've got technically most everybody. Obviously, there's that one silhouette who could be Charlemagne, so we'll see how Trom shakes out. You know, we've got... Oh, how many more days? We got a few. It's not until the 1st. Let me check our news desk. When the fuck will that stream happen for Lost About 6.5? Campaign. Usually our news desk has a timer for stuff, but I guess I'll just click, and you guys will see the tab open. Live in 3 days. Oh, geez, 6:30 a.m. Well, I'm gonna miss this one. Fuck. Literally 6:30 a.m. Yeah. And actually, if you buy the limited edition of EXTELLA, it came with a Matt's. It actually came with a Matt's book that was translated Aniplex. And it explained a lot of the characters' like skills and has a lot of the Wadarko sketches and expression sheets and stuff. It's very lovely. I don't remember if Link comes with a similar book. They also come with Saint Graph cards, which is fucking great. But yeah, so that's that about thing. Naked Roll in Ascension. Good connection. Well, luckily I'm mostly displaying text to you guys so people not in chat can follow along. No, Prometheus made the hands. That's confirmed in Lost Belt 5. They're hands of Prometheus, his flames, his wisdom. Yeah, I do not know. Let me... I dropped frames on OBS. Just YouTube being weird, I guess. But that means it's time to move on to the Fan Servant Friday, or Saturday, as it is technically Saturday. Still, is not Sunday. How dare you? Oh, right. Fucking... This just got fucking untenable. Well, not untenable, but like a lot more of a pain in the ass. Sorry, Google Docs changed up how they do summary stuff. So it'll take me a while to pull this one up. Yeah, I'm hoping for some more 3-star roundabouts this anniversary in JP. I think there's been some hinting at that. Anyway. The fan servant profile y'all voted for, because our theme was stars, was another foreigner. Sojourner. I mean, I haven't been rolling. Trust me, I do not need to spend any more Saint Courts on Summer Rerun Banner number 1. And I probably can't afford, because the freaking anniversary is only like a month away, like literally. I can't afford to spend any more on the whatchamacallit, the Part 2 banner. Even though I would like a ruler. Boy, it's a lot of Saint Courts. But yeah, so we do this poll every month for our patrons. Oh fuck, well, I got a few days. I got until like Wednesday next week to actually figure out what the new poll is, and sometime I might have to sit down and write a few more profiles. But if you support us on Patreon at the 5 and up level, you can get access to Fanservant Friday polls. Again, they are usually recorded on Friday which is when some of the patrons will be getting access. I don't fucking know. It's still like a month away. Why you ask me these things? I mean, chat, we can do Fanservant Friday next week, I guess, if you guys are so insistent on hitting me up with other questions. You guys seem hella chatty about other stuff. But definitely, Sojourner won the poll with a shitload, like 59%. So regardless of when I actually get to it, that's still definitely going to be the winner for the week. I mean, I'd like to get it done now because there's no. We've only been here for what, like an hour and a half. I mean, yes, I did turn you into the personification of the co-host. But, like, in normal show terms, there's no reason for me to not do Fanservant Friday this show time. Sorry, I was slightly bamboozled by the YouTube once again being weird. It says we've got one view number one place and one view number another place. I can't tell which is lying to me. I mean, I am reasonably certain, because Nasu did talk about this when EXTELLA Link was being announced and put out, that EXTELLA would have a true sequel. There was supposed to be follow-up stuff. It's just that they did not have the dev time to do that right away with Link, so Link was kind of like an integral story. And also, I talked about this earlier, and we may, like I said, we might do a future Teach Me on Link's story. You guys will have to let me know about that, not just the people watching live now, the 40-something of you. Again, don't know exactly what the number is correct. But also future people in the comments and other shit. But mainly what I think Link was obviously there were some characters to introduce in it, and, you know, if Charlemagne does actually show up in Lost Boat 6.5 Trom, that might actually, you know, be meaningful. Oh, what's this? Oh, hey, holy shit. Hold on, I gotta go get in recording and fuck with my setup. Lucky is alive. Yeah, Link is pretty canonically a 1.5 entry here. Let me get in recording. Like I said, you're going to have to hold on while I re-boozle my audio setup. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know if I can do the audio recording now. I mean, it's not like we didn't possess the power of using the moon cell to actually destroy one of the cores, right? Like, it was still reckless, but we still were able to do that. And we, you know, we're able to get the whatchamacallit. All right, Lucky says to give him like 10, so we'll continue to vamp for like 10 minutes. I might take an intermission as well to refill my bottle of water. But like the point of the regalia is that gives Hakuno like supreme authority over the moon cell. There's even mention in some of the epilogues that humans show up. And there's a lot of powerful servants recorded in the moon cell. You know, we could certainly get to some characters. CCC happened canonically in the EXTELLA timeline. It was just kind of like vaguely remembered, so there could actually be some tie-in there. We'd see. Like I said, Nasu said that he was planning on it being a proper sequel eventually, and that Link was supposed to bridge the gap between a hypothetical EXTELLA 2 and the original EXTELLA Umbral Star. And I was in the middle. I think I was in the middle of saying this when Lucky, you know, rose from the dead earlier. That basically Link is kind of a tech demo because the graphics package and the engine and the actual gameplay are like much improved in that version of the game. So that was probably a big reason why. Oops, sorry, accidentally brushed my mic arm. Why Marvelous wanted to do that. They wanted to produce a new version of the game that like had an updated engine first, and then they were like, okay, let's actually move on. Now, obviously, I think Type Moon's like video game sharing projects are tied up in. They're producing a remastered version of Mahou no Yoru, which again, it's going to be fully language compatible. All that fun stuff. And obviously, Natsu himself was very busy with the Tsukihime remake, but I think most of our resources are taken up with Extra Record. I think we had to push that news a little bit, but hopefully we get some soon. Obviously, I know COVID and the related things. That darned Backstreet Boys reunion tour has slam jammed everybody for a long time with delays and stuff. I remember talking about before about how like there was some Capcom leaks like a couple years ago now where Ace Attorney 7 was basically on their docket, on their roadmap for 2021, and obviously it like hasn't even been announced because they have probably been delayed by COVID and other stuff. And also probably Capcom, I would think it would make business sense for Capcom to be working on a trilogy, Steam and PS4 release of the Apollo Justice trilogy, the DS trilogy first, because a actual Ace Attorney 7 would have to follow on from that timeline. We'll see about that. Translation on Tsukihime, no word currently. I would assume, especially if Mahou Yoru does very well, which we know for sure that's going to have, like, even if that's not, like, officially localized, it's going to have English language text options. So, you can buy it from Japan and ship it over for an extra $20 or whatever. I'm going to assume if that does well, they're probably going to look at their export market. Like, honestly, I assume that Type Moon should look at their export market anyway. They should be translating as much stuff as is physically possible. But localization options do cost money. You need to actually pay translators or, get them off other projects and move them over. The remake Tsukihime, the first part that came out, is actually quite long. I believe it was clocked in, like, actual, volume of text size. That was as big as the original run of Tsukihime anyway. So, like, I can see why that would not be an easy ask for the company to make directly. But yes, absolutely, especially when Mahoyo comes out. I would say if it officially has a, like, English localized version, like it's properly, like, put through ESRB and all that shit, and sold over here that way, it goes up on Steam. Buy it there for sure. Obviously, some people will be interested in buying it imported anyway. But if you don't have to, buy it officially because that will be tracked as a separate number. And if those numbers are big, I'm sure that will give Type Moon the capital to probably move towards either more remakes or more localizations, and it will let them know, hey, the audience is explicitly here. Like, obviously, through, like, FGO surveys and stuff, we give them that info anyway. But it's still, like, a thing they probably need to do, Like, they need to see the numbers, especially if they have, like, third-party business investors and shit. Yeah, God knows what the second half is. Nasu's gonna fucking slap his own ass. I'm glad that he's supposedly not writing any more FGO stuff.
I'm here.
Okay, look, he's here.
I made it. Fuck. Sorry.
He's very awake sounding.
There's nothing quite, well, sorry, I literally have been, like, I guzzled an energy drink and ate, like, 4 slices of pizza when I got up here, like, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm on derail here, but I do have to apologize to everyone. I did not mean for this to happen. 2 days in a row. Lucky, is yanking the mic here. So Friday I basically had to Thursday I had to switch my jobs. I went from basically a sedentary desk job to a constantly moving, walking around, putting away stuff job. All right. This is the most physical labor I have done in about 2 years. It fucking killed my legs.
Called it.
Now, Friday, it killed my legs some more. And when I got home, I'm like, all right, I gotta take some fucking heavy ass shit for this right now here. Otherwise, I'm gonna just be going, no, and just completely fucking distracted. So I told Omega, hey, I'm like really hurt and I gotta take some heavy shit and I won't be fucking there to do it. And he was like, okay, cool, we'll do it tomorrow. I was like, cool, sweet. And I immediately took those meds and I passed the fuck out. Now, the problem with passing out really fucking early is you wake up really fucking early. And I was just like, okay, it's like 3 a.m. What the fuck ever. I'll just do stuff until it's time because whatever. And I did the stuff until whatever, until it was about noon today. And then I was just all like, I'm going to take a nap. Mm-hmm. That nap lasted until again, about 20 minutes ago. So I was just like...
Yeah, that's what I figured. So I theorized about an hour and 40 minutes ago. Oh, I sound really loud myself. By the way, live stream chat, let me know. I rejiggered my audio setup in the middle of the audio. Technically, the audio MP3 version would not get Lucky's story there because I was switching my setup in the middle of him telling it, but I think I've got it so the MP3 is now recording both of us again, and I am hopefully not echoing to you guys, but you let me know how I sound, if I'm, super loud or anything now. Yeah, I'm sure Lucky sounds fine. He's jumped in a Discord call with me. I'm sure my desktop audio is fine. I'm asking if me switching to looping my audio through my microphone in the middle of the show is fine, and it sounds like it is. Nobody's going, double mega. Okay. All right, it worked. Thank you, OBS. What I did is I muted my microphone audio, and I'm just playing my loop desktop audio. But yeah, so about an hour 45 ago, I was like, okay, so like he told me yesterday, work should be some stuff up on him. I assume that means he had to move to, lifting heavy shit, moving things, doing stuff, and you weren't comfortable to sit down for the show yesterday. And so we pushed it, and then I was like, yeah, so I know Lucky was alive earlier today because I saw him looking at YouTube videos, and he was, green on Discord. But like I said, I also remember you said you were going to take some serious, pain-killing meds, and I'm like, so what I'm pretty sure is Lucky probably just, took some meds and passed out and, was taking some naps just because everything was fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're here. So I did the news.
Sick.
And I did Teach Me.
Oh.
When I tried to move on to Fan Servant, chat revolted.
Why?
They just didn't want me to move on and wanted to talk about other bullshit. So we were shooting the shit for a while.
Hang on, let me see here. What do you mean? Oh, well, it does look like chat.
They just kept asking me questions, and then when I was like, guys, do you not want me to do Fan Servant Friday? Several of them were like, boo, let's just chat. I'm like, okay, fine. We'll just shoot. Then you woke up, and I'm like, okay, fine. We'll shoot the shit till Lucky comes back.
Well, unfortunately, I am Tyranny here, and I'm saying we're moving on. We can't be here all day. Actually, how long have you been recording?
Hour 45.
No, that sounds pretty good. I was like,
we got some chat stuff in there. I was able to stretch out the thing about the coins and asking people. Chat's very demanding. They made me get out my phone and check my coin levels. They wanted to know if Tomo Lancer was my most SSR coins. They were right. Damn it. Only by a little bit.
Actually, funny enough, I'm super happy about this, but it's not my most 5-star servant, but my most 4-star servant is Tamamo Cat.
Oh, neat.
Number 1.
My cat's probably pretty good, but my cat's not Bond 10 yet. Whereas
mine is.
My friend is Bond 10, and I rolled a shitload of Summer Nobu. I have 320 Summer Nobu, or is it 220? I have a lot of Summer Nobu coins. I checked earlier, chat. You can go back in time and watch the VOD. But, I don't want to put you too much on the spot because you've, obviously, suddenly climbed out of the coffin. Burst fist first out of the ground. But we do have a decent number of mailbags.
Do we?
Yeah, which I said I was not doing. That is Lucky's thing. I don't take that from Lucky.
Let's see here. Well, let me open it up here.
So we could transition to that. Yeah, I guess the main thing is if you had any. Actually, I did want to ask you about this.
But
What do you think about the fact that they've reintroduced Tunguska again already, and not even as a rerun, like straight to main interlude?
well, it gives me hope that they're going to be putting these like big events back into story, like with not so much a turnaround, because that's like one of those things. Like, think about like we're getting the we're getting the CCC interlude here like this year, and it's been, let's see, when did the CCC interlude?
Oh
That was
God,
what,
it
year
has to be
two?
like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and while we do consider it like if it is technically extra stuff, but it still has something that we feel is important to the story, and now people can experience in all its lovely, lovely glory. Now, so the fact that only Tunguska's only taken like, oh, what has it been, like 5 months?
Yeah.
5 months to make its main interlude is good, because it means people don't have to wait so long to experience what can be considered a integral part of the story.
And it also means that you can never, because 6.5 requires Tunguska cleared. It means you can never miss it.
Yeah.
You will always be able to do the 6.5 content, which is good, because I think you probably have to. I think you had to do 5.5 before you could do Lost Belt 6, so I think you have to do them in order. But yeah, it's really interesting. Also, it has a cumulative login bonus. That's great.
Yeah. Also, someone, yes, actually, my arm isn't right, but it is better than it has been. Right now, my pain is in my feet, my calves, and my knees. Like I said, I did a
assume
lot
you do a lot
walking.
of walking and bending and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me check my servant coin inventory here.
This was this was the shill I did earlier. I told everybody, if you want Lucky to stop having to do manual labor, join our channel membership, support us on Patreon.
Oh no, actually last night when I was in the dark zone, I was like just looking at a lot of art, and I was like, man, I really need to draw something. I'm having that existential crisis of being in my mid-30s, being a horrible artist, but still wanting to draw the big titty. I'm just like, oh, why? Nah, that's what I want to do. But yeah, no, actually, I'm looking at my servant coins right now here. Number 1 overall, Tomacat at 710. Number 2, Emiya at 690. Number 3 is Summer Raiko at 675. I'm pretty sure my Summer Raiko isn't actually Bond 5.
That's gotta be the 13 Mamas.
That is the 13 Mamas. Actually, what is my
I mean, I can, because you weren't here, I can reiterate my like top line. My most is Saber Lily with 340, because I got her like 10 times. My second place is actually another 4-star. It's Summer Osakabe Hime with 325. I'm also not sure if I've got her at Bond 5 or not. I am pretty sure that is from me rolling so many fucking times for Summer Karma. And then Tama Lancer is number 3 with 300 coins. Mordred is just behind her with 260. Then I have Emiya after that with 250. And the infamous 7th Sthenos, still the same, by the way. I don't think I've rolled the new Stheno in a while. 235, and that's my top row.
All right, no, okay, my Summer Raiko is Bond 5, but still.
Yeah, it's absolutely the extras.
Let's see here. What else? Let me check. Let me see here. Held. Let's go by rarity. Let's see here. Let's see. My number 1. Oh, my number 1 5-star is, of course, Tama at 530. Following up at 490 is my Jean. Surprisingly.
Neato burrito.
So, I've been using this time to faff about as I try and pull up the mailbag. And we are almost there. And we're here. All right, hi. So, everyone, I hope you are ready for this very delayed and very live Let's Talk FGO mailbag segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week we have 14 comments, a hearty number, and we're going to get started on it immediately. Yay! So, first up, we have Living the True Las Vegas Variance, Suffering. Hey, Loki Mega, sorry for the apparently Star Wars Civil War with chat last week about food and bread. You absolute animal. Which of the casinos featured in the current rerun would you find most enjoyable? May the odds ever be in your favor. Oh, casinos, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of casinos. I worked in casino. I know all the dirty shit that goes behind them, all their black secrets. Fuck that shit.
I mean, yeah, I think like also all the casinos are really weird in Vegas. I like honestly, I'm thinking to myself, probably the Himeji one, because that's got like an airsoft battle royale thing. Because like even if I'm a huge Egypt nerd, fucking that casino is weird. It's just run by Mejids.
But unfortunately, no, I'm not. To necessarily have a favorite, I'd have to like casinos, and I don't really like. I always hear people about, oh, we got to go to Vegas, we got to go to casinos, we got to go see the shows. I'm all like, that seems like a lot of money wasted. Unfortunately, I'm also one of those people who I'm not really like keen on like theme parks and big entertainment things. I'm a guy who I like seeing landmarks. I like seeing the majesty of nature.
Yeah, and depending on the context, certain theme parks can be certainly interesting. Like I've been to Legoland in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, actually, that's because my mother worked a summer shift there for just something to do. But we went there and we didn't go on any rides or anything because it was using her like employee discounts and stuff. It was just wanted to walk around and see what it was like, in case any of my relatives wanted to come and take their children there, because I have a lot of nieces and nephews. And that was fun because we just walked around and looked at Lego statues and all the many, many shopping opportunities they have. But that's a fun way to kill an afternoon. But the ads I get from, to bring back our YouTube ad conversation, the ads I get from Busch Gardens to go on hybrid roller coasters. Never been a huge roller coaster guy. I've been on some coasters, but I'm not a huge coaster guy. And then I think, and they're also talking about having like a wine festival. I'm like, I do not want to get fucking drunk in a theme park. I know some people fucking do, but I'm like, no, that does not sound like a good time.
Nah, I'm the places that Lucky would probably like to go to. I like going to zoos, aquariums. We actually have Northwest Trek here, which is how big is it? It's like 700-acre wildlife park.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, and they have a bunch of just animals, and they got moose, they got wolves, they got bears, cougars, and they're and it's just you can just go, you can't necessarily go through them. One time I went there, we saw a moose attacking a fence, and that was very terrifying. But it was just
moose are pretty existentially terrifying.
Yeah.
See our Delta Green AP out now, where I think Dallas's number one concern when going camping in the woods was not the unnatural things that were going to eat him. It was, I need to make sure I have a big gun in case a moose decides to show up.
No, but zoos, aquariums, nature preserves, all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of thing I like.
I know definitely always liked aquariums and zoos more than theme parks. Animals are cool.
Northwest Trek, Point of Defiant Zoo.
God, now I can remember. I wonder if I still have it somewhere. For a while, I used to live in very South Florida, in a small town outside of just outside of Miami, in Miami-Dade County. Miami Metro Zoo is a very nice zoo. I think I did the penny press trick once, and I had a little one somewhere. I wonder if I got that in a box somewhere. I should go dig that up if I can, because we went there a couple of times when I was younger.
I'm the same with museums and stuff. I can go to a museum and just be like, I have no idea what's going on here, but it's cool.
Yeah, I don't know how much fun my parents had, but one of our trips to England, as a reminder, my mother's British, I have relatives over there. We just had a couple of days to kill in London, and I think one of them I just was like, we're going to the British Museum. We are going to look at everything. They had a sick Japan display on loan as well. I've still got some of the booklets and stuff from there. And it was free because, it's the UK. So if it's an actual important historical site, you could just show up.
That reminds me, I should go to the Museum of Glass. I haven't been there in forever. So with that though, let us Move on, move on, move on, move on. Thank you very much. The next one comes from the Eternal Storm, who says, "No questions this week. Take care, both of you, and look forward to Fan Servant Friday." We haven't even got there yet, and I have not been taking care of myself. I am pain. I'm still kind of pain, but I slammed some Tylenol. I'm feeling slowly better.
That's the good shit. Get some Tylenol. Get you some Aleve.
And we are going to keep it going. This next one comes from the man who will hop back in time to leave questions for the void, knowing you'll never see them.
Ha!
But if I delete that post, it's like they never existed in the first place.
No shit. Time cops.
Hello, Flamethrower Omega and Fire Catapult Lucky.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Maybe. Hope your weekends are starting off good. Since I can already bet on the servants you're going to coin, I'll ask instead. Have you ever noticed an Easter egg or meta joke for any servants? I was today years old when I found that the joke of Ganesha having an NP of C. Thanks for reading this and reading from far and sending happy vibes to you both. I know what good vibes sound like. I don't know what happy vibes sound like.
Yeah, it's way too high pitched. That's gonna hurt people's ears.
Yeah, that was.
I'm trying to like be like yay, but also wah wah. I don't think you could do those two sounds. That's too much.
No, too much. Anyway, I know a little bit of Easter eggs here and there. Most often you'll find them in designs and whatnot. Like Summer BB in particular is one that always caught out to me. Her final form is actually being the design for the BBB, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
And her moveset is eerily reminiscent to a I can't remember what it was. Was it Super Robot Wars? It might have been. It can't be, but apparently some designers are huge nerds and will sneak that stuff into. Occasionally, someone will. I remember this happened a few times. Of some people will be like, "Oh my god, look at this! It's clearly this for just something, anything," and I'm just have to slap people. It's all like, not everything is a goddamn reference, you fools.
Oh my god, you reminded me so much. I mean, also just stating the obvious. A couple weeks ago, one of the big YouTubers I follow, MBT, did a Twitter thread, which he turns into videos, which is basically like, hey, what Yu-Gi-Oh cards are references to other things? You know, did you know this card called Vampire Hunter is a reference to Castlevania? It very clearly is, by the way. It's obviously like he's got the Vampire Killer Whip. It's a Belmont. He's not called that. There's also an old Yu-Gi-Oh card called Tactical Espionage because Konami also owns Metal Gear. I read that thread and just it was bad because it was full of huge reaches or people restating the obvious. Did you know Cosmo is a reference to the Wizard of Oz and Star Wars? You don't say. That's not incredibly obvious.
It is hard to find that fine balance of saying something is or isn't a reference, and sometimes it is or isn't a reach, because this is what I like to tell people. It's all like, you don't have the fucking design notes saying this is that, so all you can do is just say it could be this.
Which is why, you mentioned the designs and the stuff like that before. It's great when we get like materials when there's like the actual artist note where they can like actually shout out. Like, funnily enough, Qin Shi Huang is a JoJo reference. To part 2, because the artist explicitly says he was going for a Ultimate Being Cars type vibe. That's what the design notes for the Lost Belt version were given back to them. So, yeah, like, that's explicit because the artist was like, yes, I am consciously, that is the inspiration I drew on for this piece.
And I believe the Super Robot Wars for BB, because, it's styled off what was supposed to be a giant robot, and someone literally did a side-by-side comparison, and they are literally exactly the same. So I'm all like...
Yeah, and so the animation team probably used that as a reference.
Yeah. Sorry, I was slamming me a Coke. Because, again, I literally woke up with and tried to reach into a functional being of stasis. I have no idea what I'm saying right now.
That's okay, Lucky. Dude... I was literally reading my show notes. They're on the page in front of me, and I'm still fucking it up. Like, I was reading the teach me shit about EXTELLA and the White Titan and stuff, and I'm just like fucking up words and pronunciation. Ugh.
All right, so
Chin Getter. Okay, thank you, Axe.
Oh,
I should have assumed you were one of the people who would get the super robots.
Oh, thank you.
Also, I wanna go back and agree with Starlight earlier. Yes, Happy Vibes is the Final Fantasy fanfare. We probably shouldn't make that noise just in case, but absolutely, that is the correct sound. Just when you hear victory in your head. Or are those victory vibes? Chat, let me know. Let's move on.
I would say those were victory vibes. But moving on. This next one comes from a stargazer wanting to say hi to the old ones. While at the beach, I meet a Japanese woman with short curly hair and lovely blue eyes and a little octopus floating above her. Our eyes meet and she smiles. Are you writing a fan fiction here?
We're developing a sequence of events. Is that... My dude, my guy, my boy. Your alias is longer than your fucking question statement.
Oh god, yeah, no, I would say it's about 10% longer. I can't pull out word and character counts here, but it's a little bit. But they say, hey, Lucky Mega, how you guys doing today? And sending you the good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. Question, if you preformed a summoning ritual in a thunderstorm, what servant are you like to get?
Well, I did that once, and I did get my Lancer Artoria altar, so...
Yeah, no, King of Storms, Wild Hunt. Actually, that reminds me, Omega, you really dig Ancient Magus Bride, right?
Yeah.
They're actually doing an OVA series right now. There's only one episode out about that, but the Wild Hunt is featured in it.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna go run that down.
Yeah, there's only one episode right about now, but it's very nice. It seems like it's
I'll look into it. Also,
I'm hoping
nobody commented on it. They went to yelling about their other stuff, but I believe was there a poster for we're finally doing a third season of Konosuba?
No, we're doing. I don't know if it's a third season, but we're doing a spin-off anime. I think featuring everyone's favorite Crimson Sorcerer.
Yeah, I believe it is. Both are confirmed. We are doing the Mega Man spinoff, and we are getting a third season. Yeah, because there's a Konosuba Shisekai ni Tsugifu wo 3. So yeah, we are finally getting the third season. It's only been 10,000 years.
People are still waiting for No Game No Life season 2 though.
I mean, we waited like literally 2 years for not even the second season, for the back half of 2045. Which yes, I have watched all of Lucky. I binged all on Thursday. I
gotta watch it. I think I'm gonna queue up Love, Death, and Robots season 3 that no one else seems to want to watch because they're heathens.
I'm still not caught up. I was planning on binging that as well later, but I did not have time yet. Maybe I'll do that after this because I don't have to edit the video for this, obviously.
Oh, both are confirmed. Okay. But yes, no. Again, there's a lot of lightning servants out there. Like I said, like Tesla, Kentucky. Oh, was it Raijin? There's Raijin. There's a couple of Japanese gods that are specifically related to lightning or thunder. One specifically is one of learning, but I can't tell you off the top of my head because my memory is shit.
You can, estimate Edison because he's got an electric theme.
But definitely Lancer Alter and let me see here. I'm trying to think.
Are you Drake?
Here.
You know. Not an FGO, but canonically, some of Thor's sons are servants. Like, I think it's technically Magni and Prisma Ilia.
Yeah, it's Magni, but... excuse me. I'm trying to think of, like, maybe not, like, specific hecking deity ones, like, actual people ones. Benjamin Franklin?
Yeah.
That could be one. But I will not overlay much on that, and we shall move on. This next one comes from Coins, Sweet Coins. Level 120 Mao, I am coming. Terrifying slightly. Hello there, Phantom Thief Lucky and Blackjack Player Omega. Actually, this is opposite. I think I'm probably be better at... Well, I don't know.
I mean, I actually have always preferred Blackjack, but my experiences with it virtually are still kind of sketch.
Like there's very few times that I actually come out that I actually lose the blackjack. I usually, if I start losing at blackjack, I just break even. I'm like, nope, I'm done. Bye. Which is the strongest fucking power. Let me tell you right now. Hope has life been treating you kindly. As for me, that now that counts are out and working, I have started the long journey to level 120 Mal. That would certainly be easier if we maybe got a certain daily XP quest early. Also unlock the second depend skill on most servants. I could, cause who can complain about extra 20% battery?
Yeah, pretty solid. I
Pretty
do believe
solid.
also, well, I mentioned this earlier, but to reiterate, because that was like an hour ago, or longer even. I do believe they said in the announcement of the actual like formal announcement about coins on the website is they would be working towards getting us new EXP quests. Earlier, Lucky, everybody, me and the audience called our shot on anniversary for new dailies.
Sounds about right to me. But we shall continue here as I try to eat this chocolate lava cake. As for the question, so recently I was talking to my friend about how cool it'd be to get the skill animation speed up from JP early, and discovered that all this time he's been playing FGO at base speed. Sorry, that slightly had me flabbergasted. Which certainly had me flabbergasted. Ayy. Since he knew you can do it at double speed, but he said it's easier to play at normal speed because he doesn't have to pay as much attention to the screen. I guess it makes sense in a way, but I still don't just understand why you wouldn't do it at double speed and have everything be over faster. Maybe I'm dumb or something, but that got me thinking. What are some of the weird quirks that you have when playing FGO or have heard from your friends? I personally realize I always put the DPS in the middle of the party and always activate skills left from right, just for the way it flows better in my head. Sorry if the prologue for the question was a bit long-winded. I thought it was an interesting situation I had, and I wanted to share it. Anyways, have a nice rest of the weekend, and may the gotcha smile upon thee. Bye-bye. Hang on, I'm gonna eat more cake.
Yeah, so I know I definitely was a little reluctant to go to double speed because I was like, oh, but the animations are so. Keep in mind, this was like it was still within the first year of FGO. I was like, man, the animations are so cool. I don't want to miss them. And then I embraced double speed power. And it's like, yeah, no, it's you can still see everything. And you can always they've done a lot of better formatting with buffs as well, so you can always like tap a servant and double check if you miss a skill or anything. Like you very rarely need to actually literally watch FGO every second that you play it.
When it comes to speed, I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to playing at double speed, but it's hard for me to play at base speed because it just seems so
when you turn it
slow.
down to X1, it's so slow.
And so that's why I'm constantly crying for like a 1.5 speed. I feel like that'd be a nice balance.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about things that I see other people do that makes me confused, have the agita flabbergasted. And when people burn servants that they don't have MP5 of. That gets in my goat. I yell at people for that shit.
Yeah, like I understand that some people are a little more strict in their appreciation of characters than we are, but it's definitely like it's one of those things where it's just that, no, every one of those things is precious, special. You get stuff for it. Why? No, don't do that. Like every servant has bond that can be like quartz or apples or whatever. You know, every servant has interludes. Obviously now they're doing it so for limited times you can do interludes without having the servant summoned, but that's much better for servants you never summon, period. You know, there's coins now. It's just like I do not understand the early burning. I mean, also, fuck, dude, you have how many goddamn slots do you have in second archive? If you don't want to use a servant or see him, you can just throw him in second archive jail. Don't trust me, I've done that before for some servants. I've left them at the bottom of the list, but like, boy, it just seems like a waste. Also, I want to ask chat. Also, I guess you didn't object to it, Lucky, so I don't know. But like, I actually also I don't know if it's weird. I also usually do skills left to right. Like I start with the skill that is canonically first on the servant and then go later. Like obviously, if I'm just using the third skill or second skill, I go to that one first. But like if I'm like, all right, I pop all three of my skills, I usually start with my left thumb. Is that unusual?
No, I don't think that's unusual. I usually go left to right myself.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you make mistakes, I think we've all made mistakes with, like, rolling, accidentally burning shit, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
Let's see. Any other habits I have? I definitely have a weird habit. I always raise my skills all three up at the same time, usually. 95% of the time, if I'm leveling up a character's skills, I try to keep them at the same level. So I usually don't level them unless I have enough to reach certain benchmarks. So that's why most of my servants will either be like 444, 666, or 10 10 10.
yeah,
Oh,
I usually try to do them in bulk all at once if I can. Like sometimes I'll not do my math right and I'll realize like halfway through I'm like, I've miscounted my number of cookies. Well, shit. But I like everything to be nice and even.
mhm.
Somebody in chat also said level battery skills first. I definitely do that. Like that's the one time I will break my own rule. If I have a servant who I know I'm going to use and they've got like a 50% battery, I will like fast food them to 10. Like I think my Da Vinci Small is like 6 6 10 for that reason because I'm like I want that 50. I want that big. No, not
What that
actually
pity.
no. It was my regular Da Vinci is 6 6 10. Little Da Vinci is 20%. Actually no. I think it's her. I gave her skills per turn to 10 as well. I might have put her to 10 10 10. I don't know. I got to double check. I was very happy with that get, so I put a lot of effort into her. That was what I used my instant max ascension on.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think of any other niggles I have. My skill levels is definitely one of them. When we're talking about setups, I always put my support in the back because again, I'm one of those people who I try as hard as I can not to rely on supports. Like I said, I am the man with 3 MLBK scopes. I will. Unless it's like a boss, there is very little that I cannot just blow the fuck up. Turn one.
Yeah, my actual order of servants is literally over the place. It goes everywhere. Like I've got, some where it's like, okay, this is for, like event farming. I have the support servant slot like right in the front because I do not have 3 MLB K scopes. I think I'm still 1 K scope away from like having 6 so I can make an MLB K scope and have a spare. Like I think I have exactly 5 and I'm just like, being able to go 80% multiple times is more useful than being able to go 100% one time. Because even though it's max level, I am glued to that Mage Association uniform. Love that 20% starter. And now I have Appen skills. But yeah, like that is definitely a reverse niggle. Like my actual makeup for servant teams is not orderly at all. I will put servants in whatever order. I will, hot swap them around for like different setups for like different people.
Yeah, no, it's always my big 3 at the front, and then whoever I need to spend that. Then it's a support setup, and then I always have Mash in the back. I really wish there was a statistic that showed how often servants were used. My Mash would literally be at like 99.9%.
Yeah, I mean the free 0 cost for Mash and the fact that she gives you extra bond is Mash is in my back row in a fuck ton of things.
Yeah, but let's move on from that. So thank you very much. We shall move on. This next one comes from Moon is awaiting the day we get Horny Mermaid and a Yandere Bride. We got like what, 2 months? But they say, hello there, Lucky Omega. Since the anniversary is quite soon, which GSSR banner do you plan to roll? Going for the one Arjuna altar personally because I want to get into MP2 if possible. The rest are also dupes except for Nob Avenger. I also want, excuse me, Carbonation. I'm rolling whatever one gives me comma, because again, I need that MP5 comma. Come on, come on, come on, come on, comma.
Chameleon.
Heh.
Did that joke in the comma wanted, by the way, in case you missed it.
Ha!
Anniversary the 5. By the way, chat, if you're watching the stream, you may see I am not in the window for the show notes that you are currently seeing on your screen. I am just you can see my phantom cursor as I try to remind myself about the Lucky Bag campaigns. What do we got? So it's by year. Okay. I think that's still this year. Let's see. Actually, nah, probably not. I wouldn't mind the score on like a Ruler Artoria or a Yang, but I've hit most of the people on my list on this year anyway, so it might be last year, or is it year 3? Let's see. Last year was Benyanma, Renez. That's comma. So yeah, you'll be running last year's banner.
Yeah.
Because that's comma, Arjuna Alter. No, yeah, I think it's actually, if I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to calculate in my brain, it would be, oh gosh, they're all kind of risky, but I think it's probably best if it's the third year, because I do have NP2 Eresh, and I do have Sigurd, and I do have one Abby. I have and Hokusai, right? Hokusai was also that year technically. But I don't have any of those other SSRs. Like that's got Scotty, Semiramis, Sherlock, Okitan, Summer Nero, Summer Alter. Like that's definitely like probably the bulk I've not got on there. And oh no, I got NP3 Aresh or NP2 Sigurd. Whatever will I do? It's not like the GSSR has given me fucking NP3 MHX or whatever. So yeah, it's probably that one. Because year 2 has a couple of others that I've missed, but that also has Tamalancer in on it, and that's just no. I really don't want to get more of those coins. So yeah, it'll probably be year 2, and I'll just roll the dice that I own 3 out of what, like, how many are there? 5, 10, yeah, 11. 3 out of 11, not bad odds. There you go, chat. I answered.
Not so bad.
Please don't ask me this question every week for the next month.
No, they're just going to ask every other week now.
I can live with that one.
All right.
That's only like 2 more weeks.
All righty. Then we move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Agent 418, who says, "Hello, Lucky Omega. So which servant coins did you have the most of? Also, which one surprised you both by how many you had? Have a great weekend." I did mention this. My number 1 was Tomacat at 710. I guess my most surprise would be my number 2, which is Emiya at 690.
Yeah, he shows up a lot.
Yeah.
You already know my top. Definitely the summer Osakawa Hime number surprised me. I mean, thinking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, I did roll a lot of her. I think I got like NP6 or something or more, because I was trying to roll for Summer Carmilla so bad. Just on the first day that the banner was up, so I was like, that's kind of shocking. The other one was another one of my summers actually. I think it was like my number 6, tied with my Fran, who is NP5 Bond 10. Was Summer Nobu, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, did I really roll that many Summer Nobus? But I did roll for Mao, and I did roll on her original Summer Nobu banner, so, like, yeah, probably I got that many. Those were definitely the ones that I was like, huh. Because, like, obviously I knew I got a lot of Tamalancer. I put a lot of effort into my Mordred, who's Bond 10 and NP2. I know that I've rolled extra Emmys and extra Stenos, of course. So, like, that was, like, yeah, I figured. It was some of the summers I was just like, man, boy, it's like you with the 13 Mamas. It's like, man, I really just went in a hole on that, didn't I? I just kept going. Lost track.
Did not stop.
But yeah, that's me.
That's me. Well, with that, let's keep moving on then. So this next one comes from the Abandoned Warehouse, who says, "From the depths of the void, I have returned. Hello, guys. Long time without posting because life has been a roller coaster. Not roller coaster. No, not even roller coaster. Roller coaster.
That sounds like a slightly badly translated JoJo attack. Roller coaster.
I love it. Enjoying my first actual run in Las Vegas since I couldn't do it last year. Some events keep on being some of my favorites. Question: have you guys ever been into an actual casino? How was it? Or do you ever want to go? I'm pretty completely by accident. I think I answered this earlier. Yeah. P.S. After saving for more than 1 year, I'm the very proud owner of an MP3 Voyager. It leaves me at 0 cent coins, but I'm so happy. Now for hazmats, that are horrendous. P.S. the 2. Sending the good vibes, Lucky. Wah, 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 wah. But I did mention this earlier. I have gone to a casino and I have worked in a casino. I wasn't a dealer. I worked in the bars. First, I was a bar back, then I was a bartender. So I was constantly seeing the shit we did. They're literally trying to get you drunk so you spend more money. Everything in that area is designed to make you want to not leave and spend more money. Once you start learning everything, you're just all like, I don't like this place.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I mean, this is kind of why people try to compare certain video game practices to like casinos and gambling, because some of it is a similar mindset, but also why a lot of the time I don't agree with that as a one-to-one comparison, because like casinos are really shady. Like Lucky's not kidding. I've never been to one because I've been near them. I don't think I've ever been when we were because hey, I live in Florida right now and have lived here for quite a long time. I think most of this millennium I've lived in the state. There are casinos here because there are the Seminole Indian tribe, and they get casinos on their lands because tribal laws are different. I have been close to those. I don't think I ever actually got to go in one because I wasn't old enough because, as we said, the booze be a free flowing. And it is absolutely cheaper for the casino to keep sending you free alcoholic drinks so you will gamble more than it is for you to actually, like, win games against them and go home. And we don't even live in like the dark ages, like possibly still in some, but like in the classic Vegas casino era, you do shit like count cards or other stuff. That they won't just like kick you out, like they'll beat your ass and then kick you out. Because a lot of Vegas casinos were tied into the mafia. Well, yeah, gotcha is technically no purchase necessary, but even then, like. I do think that the gacha and the loot box system can stimulate the same hormones that like people have in a gambling addiction. I do not think that the actual ecosystem is quite the same as a casino. Mostly because they haven't figured out how to make you drunk through your phone yet.
I give them time; they'll figure it out. Clearly, they just have to flash a certain light pattern on your phone that will basically stimulate your brain to releasing chemicals that will simulate the feel of drunkenness and contentment.
Cyberpunk 2077. You get that on a button. Get a sound button to just play the sting. That was a big meme for a while. Oh, hey, Lucky, while we're in complete derail time, because I don't think we're doing What's Up, did you see that people have alleged leaks for the Cyberpunk expansion?
When have people not have alleged leaks for the Cyberpunk expansion?
Yeah, there's supposedly been some data mine in the patch. This I think, is supposed to be a little more legitimate because there was a new big patch that was supposed to come out. It predicts there's going to be 7 main quests. It's going to include areas that are seen in the game but not used, such as the combat zone and the sports park. There will also be new fixer missions and open world stuff in addition to a core plot line. And allegedly, there's supposed to be data mine dialogue that the ending of the game will actually go back and reference shit you did in the expansion. So,
oh, that'd be nice.
The most interesting thing I read was that apparently there's not a lot of extra Johnny dialogue in the expansion, and the main NPC you work with, I think their name was Songbird, like has dialogue about silencing Johnny, which a lot of people have wondered if that means that Project Red wasn't able to catch Keanu for a lot of extra dialogue.
I don't know. Actually, I'm wondering how much flack Keanu Reeves' agency caught for being associated with Cyberpunk. Because for a while there, Cyberpunk was under a lot of fire.
I mean, I don't think Keanu gives a shit because he doesn't really seem like he cares. He just likes to work cool jobs.
Yeah, I know, but again, that's one of those things. There's the actor, then there's the actor's agency.
Yeah, but he had business partnerships because he co-owns Arch Motorcycles and shit. So I don't know. I mean, the dude also made The Matrix 4, which is not as controversial as Cyberpunk. I haven't seen it yet myself, but some people are definitely like that movie was not good and it sucked, and other people are like that movie was great. So like the Keanu man is not averse to doing weird shit occasionally. Not everything's gonna be a whatchamacallit, a John Wick banger. I mean, if they did a Cyberpunk FGO summer, I would love that. That would be funny.
Actually, we haven't really had a Cyberpunk story, have we?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I spent a lot of time when I talk about EXTELLA, but talk about how, once again, Nasu up on his sci-fi shit. Attila the Hun is a giant space alien.
Yeah, but Excel is more of a space opera, I
Yeah,
guess.
though it does technically take place in a magic computer, kind of. We really
Kinda.
don't talk about that part of the Moonsail a lot in Extella. I think that's a much bigger plot point about Extra and CCC, but technically,
We're all just data, baby.
we'll see if that ever comes back.
But let's get back on the rails here and move on.
Screech, rerail.
Screw. Wait, where am I? Oh, here we are. Ah. Next up here is the Tyrant King that will push through the fire and the flames and come out on top of the gotcha victorious this Wednesday. So you say. Question: Hey, Burger a la mode, Lucky and Sweet Chili Oman Burger Omega. What? Never. Whatever. Been meaning to ask this one for a while, but are you? Yeah. Are you and Lucky gonna go in depth about the second loss about OP since we finally beat Olympus? Because I would like to hear your thoughts and theories for it. That's it for me. Sending good vibes your way and have a great 3-day weekend. References Bob Burgers. Show I have never watched because it looks dumb.
I should probably watch it sometime, if only to hear John 8 Benjamin's sweet pipes.
Listen, I am not a fan. I am not a fan of Western adult animation most of the time.
Yeah, some of it's okay. I've watched some of it for sure, but that's mostly about the comedy. The actual animation is definitely like weird, and some shows were definitely designed on a low budget.
Yeah, no, like I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of the shows. I've never been a fan of South Park. Never been a fan of The Simpsons. Never been a fan of King of the. Well, I kind of liked King of the Hill. I don't know why, but Futurama was the best.
Yeah,
But you know, like
and
shows.
hey, they're renewing it again, so
Yeah.
the proof's in the pudding.
B-Lab 2021 is funny, but that's because Cartoon Network was all like, took a bunch of footage from C-Lab 2020 and just went wild with it. Same
I
with,
mean,
like,
yeah,
Space...
that's the same thing as like Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. That's just all
Yeah.
stock animation cut together with amazing dialogue. That, like, I will say that if you've never watched Harvey Birdman, that's great. Like, some of those jokes still hit. God, I remember just thinking about this bullshit. Like, they pull up a Johnny Quest henchman as a witness, and they're like, state your name, age, and occupation. Lizardman, and Lizardman.
Actually,
And
I want to say this.
Green guy in it.
Cartoon Network's, like, Adult Swim lineup was very interesting. Like, some of their stuff was shit, like, home movies. I never got that shit. I literally not get that shit. But shit like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and Venture Brothers, that was the fucking shit.
Yeah. Another one I never got into was Squidbillies. I was just like, what? But Venture Brothers, great. Amazing stuff. It's really, it's a weird one. I guess what we're getting at is a lot of the adult Fox anime. Like,
Yeah, I guess that's the word. It's like I don't like crude animation just at all. Like, especially when it has like the same, like, the kind, like, there's just something about it. I'm just like, this looks ugly, and not in a good kind of way.
and like, okay, we've all seen some Family Guy, and Family Guy has some good gags, but also it has some shit gags. Like, I'm pretty sure Family Guy is just Seth Green and the other guys just load shotguns full of jokes and fire them at the whiteboard and make animation. And sometimes it works, and sometimes you're like, what the fuck is this gag?
Actually, the more I think about it, I think the thing I like about Futurama is it's so disconnected from actual modern society. It's just people, like, literally making up the future and all the stupid shit about it.
Yeah, like, obviously some of the commentary is relevant. Like, I'm pretty sure they did a global warming episode in, like, the early 2000s. But it's couched in the sci-fi bullshit that you're just like, yes, the future. What makes a good man neutral? Tell my wife I said hello. God, I love that.
With me in command, every mission is a suicide mission. Is that
And,
Mangan?
and you all know the classic. It's not really a joke, but everybody knows this one. Death by Snoo Snoo.
That's a classic.
The fucking skeletons in the broken pelvis smoking a cigarette. Oh, Futurama is
The
so
spirit is
good.
willing. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak and tender.
Yeah, weak and spongy.
We can spongy.
There's a YouTube channel that I occasionally tune into that posts like every new month starts is like posts X number of days in the month, future jokes from Futurama to get you through the month.
Sounds
I make
lovely.
sure to check it in. It's still good. They still hit.
we
Right.
totally
This
did not-
person asked us about the second Lost Boat opening. We may go back and talk about it more. I'm pretty sure when it first came out, we were like, spoilers. When they actually give it to us, which should be this anniversary.
I'm assuming so.
So yeah, we can probably once it actually releases officially in NA and they make me watch it when I load up the app, we can probably like frame by frame and talk about it. Sure.
Sure.
That's
All
a
right,
pretty
but we
good
should-
piece of animation.
Oh yeah.
Also, I mean, lucky you didn't mention it, but I will say Archer is, well, at least some of the seasons. I think that show went on for like 14 seasons, and I haven't been able to watch them all. But a lot of Archer is also very classic. Lana.
Yeah, Archer.
Lana.
No, yeah, Archer's pretty good too.
What?
Again, like
Zone.
as long as it has like good animation, and it doesn't have really weird proportions. I think I want to say. Like when people look like look like people, I guess.
What even was? Like, I don't even know what medium Archer was done in. Because Johnny Benjamin and stuff did some stuff, I think, for Adult Swim first. I think that was like Frisky Dingo and stuff, which is a show I never watched, but like was by that same crew, and then they went to go work at FX for Archer. So like I don't even know what kind of like programs they were doing stuff in.
I know. I'm remembering the Archer animation style, but seems like.
Like I wouldn't be shocked if some of it wasn't like rotoscoped or traced over.
I don't know. I don't think so, but I might look into that later.
It's always an
But-
interesting question to think about, like animation styles and
Mhm.
systems.
Mop.
Suppressing fire. And those jokes are all from like the first couple of seasons too. Good shit.
Good shit. So. This next one comes from yeah. That's a hell of an alias. But they say, think the anti-servant type and the pen skills has to do with the servant lore, such as MHX have an anti-saber? Yes.
Almost assuredly, yes. We somebody asked us earlier about little gags. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the app end skills. Some of them are probably like related to giving servants niches. I think most of them are just inside jokes.
Yeah, like if I remember correctly, commas is anti-lancer, because pervardy. Tama Cat, I believe, is anti-moon cancer, or is that Tamamo? I can't remember. One of the fox ears has an anti-moon cancer.
Yeah.
No, it is 110% jokes. Well, I won't even say jokes, but deepest lore, because jokes are deepest lore.
Can I like easily cross-reference my servant's app end skills?
Hang on, let me see it here.
Status.
I'm curious now, because I'm gonna double check Tamamo and Tamacat here.
No, it's not in their normal status profiles for some ungodly reason. Nope. Oh, okay, it is. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Interestingly, I guess it makes sense because she's normally a saber. Musashi Berserker is crit res up against Lancers.
Yes, it is regular Tamo who is anti-moon cancer attack damage aptitude.
Makes sense.
Let me double check. Oh yeah, Tamacat will be is crit resist. That's right. Because she be Bazaka. And they're all like, no, Berserkers don't need no damage. Stop it.
I know that regular Mordred... Oh, and so some Mordred are both anti-saber. This means that
Makes
Mordred
sense.
is an anti-saber saber. Let's see. What's Medusa's going to be? Also anti-saber. Yeah, makes sense.
Tamacat is specifically anti-alter ego critical Critical. Interesting.
So, by the way, is Little Da Vinci. Hmm. You know, they sneak these things in.
Yeah.
We do this just
Let me check. Now I'm gonna check Tom and my answers because I'm curious what we got here. Anti-berserker. Actually, that's probably good. That's probably real good. Really slap berserkers.
Sigurd is also anti-saber. Space Ishtar is anti-archer. That tracks. Let me see what a regular Ishtar and Aresh are. Aresh is anti-ruler. Interesting.
Summer Kama is still anti-lancer.
Yeah. Well, like I said, some of them are consistent, and Aresh is anti-assassin. Okay. Ooh, I should definitely do that app-end skill. Altera is anti-foreigner.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of these little ones. Karna is anti-writer. That's also pretty funny. Orion, are you going to be anti-archer? Super Orion, I should say. Yep, Super Orion's anti-archer. There's a lot of little funnies in here.
Like, don't mind me. I'm just looking at.
Oh yeah, I'm like literally in my servant origin list, looking at like my highest leveled servants, checking out what their app-end skills could be. Maeve is anti-lancer. Duh. What is regular Da Vinci? Let's see. Also anti-alter ego. So both of them. I'm really going to clap those Rasputin cheeks in the future.
Interesting. Melt also has anti-lancer. I wonder why.
Yeah, that is a good question. Because who even... This wasn't even a Lancer when she originally showed up in CCC. She was a Berserker.
Anyone got an idea why Melt would be anti-lancer?
Yep, Shinshi Wong is anti-assassin. Actually, that's a good question. John, what are you? Anti-ruler. That's very funny. Makes sense, but it's funny.
I mean, she had to slap another one of them once.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah, Lucky's got to pull up.
Jalter is also anti-Avenger. That's kind of funny how that goes. She did have to fight Lobo that one time.
No, it's just because she hates herself the most.
That also might be. King Protea is anti-ruler.
Let's see, who do we got in Lancers? Let's see. Who would Melt be all like, fuck you?
Summer BB is anti-foreigner. That also tracks. She should be a foreigner, but is not. Because her moon cancerness always comes out. Ooh, the Dioscuri are anti-ruler. That makes sense also. But very fun. You know, Lucky looked up all his Tomos. Let me see. What is Nero's? Anti-assassin. Interesting. So it does seem like they are usually consistent between different versions, for sure.
It's very interesting, though. Lots of jokes, lots of lore. But
yeah,
unfortunately,
like most of the time you can look at them and go, that makes sense. Is Parvati's going to be anti-assassin? No anti-alter ego.
Oh, remember, she doesn't actually hate Kama. Despite what Kama might say.
Yeah, it's just, it's sometimes funny to see which direction everything goes in.
Unless you mess with Parvati's weight. Have you? I don't remember. Have you done Parvati's interlude yet?
Oh, did I? Let me. No, I can check that from my fucking Spirit Origin list. I'm a goober. I can check if I've actually done that. I know I did not do any interludes during the interlude campaign. I was very busy with lots of things. But where did you go, Parvati? Let's check in on you.
Now people talking about BB, and I'm just like, all I hear is just Spinal Coaster in my head.
No, I did not actually do her. Oh, actually, yeah, no, it says clear. Yeah, I did do it.
Oh, okay.
Took me a minute to interpolate the results.
But anyway, I think that's enough talk on pen skills. We should move on. And we're going to. So, this next one comes. I'm sorry, everyone. Lucky just had a 404 error and had to swap out with another one of the hive mind because someone just wrote the weirdest fucking alias he has ever seen. He cannot comprehend that. So, this is Lucky 2 here speaking.
Wow. We full blown red ring to Lucky. Shit. That's not good for the warranty.
It's really not. But this next one comes from Avde Ordle Andye Avorise. I wonder if there's actually an explanation for this. Doing a quick read on this.
Lord and Savior. It's Pig Latin.
Ah. I see now. Well, previous Lucky did not get that, so luckily Lucky 2 can know.
That's okay. We'll install the language pack. Get him a new locale.
Yeah, so while we wait for Lucky 1 to return, I will continue as usual. This person says, have you guys ever had rerun CEs go missing on you? I can't tell if this was just stupid and I spent them all, or if there's an actual bug or something. I'm usually pretty good at remembering to save CEs, but this year, every run I have had either have them go missing or I won't have as many as I should.
I definitely talked about how with the Gouda Gouda rerun, I definitely could not find anywhere my MOE damage CE. I had all my other CEs, though, and I've got all my summer 4 CEs, so... Yeah, I don't know. I might have just gotten rid of them in a spree of having to deal with, like, a bunch of EXP CEs or Valentine's extras or something.
Okay. Where are we?
Vanishing CEs.
Oh.
Who has them?
I'm pretty sure hang on. Okay. Me personally, I don't think I've ever had to pick an issue with vanishing CEs, usually because I just assumed that I accidentally burnt them doing something else and I felt really stupid about it. I still do that sometimes. Like, I'll forget to lock and then I'll accidentally combine them. Or I'll combine them and accidentally with something else. Yeah. Or I'll unlock them and accidentally sell them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know some people want to blame, the game on the game fucking up or fuck up, but sometimes it's just as simple as you forgot to lock something or you unlocked something and then you just mindlessly sold it and or combined it.
Yeah, like, especially considering, like I said, I think I'm like reasonably certain I have all my old Summer 4 CEs. It's like, no, I've probably just gotten a spree of removing CEs because I don't do that cleanup all the time and just it gone now. Which is sad, but that's on me. I do think that FGO has in the past sometimes had issues with losing CEs and stuff during like game versions and other updates, but it's not very common, and usually if it happens, several people will talk about some stuff.
Yeah. So with that, let us move on. This next one comes from the master reminded you why you should never invest in crypto before it launches.
True.
I mean, very true. But they say, dear Lucky to make a not question this week. Just wishing you well and hoping Lucky feels better. Sending extra good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. Just in case. Thank you. Thank you very much. But unfortunately, we're going to keep going. This next one comes from Better Call Kirky. They say, what's up, guys? Was just wondering, what's your opinion on the fate of Moo? Co-worker and I talked about it and both loved it. Don't get turned into piggies and have a good weekend.
I mean, depends on which dub you're talking about. Like, I haven't listened to any of them extensively. I've heard some of the voices, but I don't know anything about like the original Fate Stay Night dub.
I'm gonna lead a snob. You know me. I almost never listen to dubs. I'm subs all the way.
Yeah, no. There are exceptions.
There are exceptions. I'm not gonna say every single dub is bad, but
oh, well, also some of it's just listening to things.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. I prefer the dub of Ghost in the Shell just because that's what I heard forever and ever on Adult Swim over and over, and that's got some really great names in it. Also, all the long-ass conversations about literature and philosophy really hit different when they're in Japanese and, everybody's pronouncing everything in English. It's a thing I remember also about Psycho-Pass. I actually prefer to watch that dubbed just because it's really, really jarring to hear Japanese people go into a 5-minute sidebar about Philip K. Dick, and you're just like, Philip K. Dick, androids dream of electric sheep, and I'm just like, this is really weird.
I've never had that problem. But no, I will say there are some dubs that I just grew up and I can't get out of, like OG Cowboy Bebop, like Outlaw Star. Like the stuff I grew up listening in English, I still listen to English just because I'm like, no, that's how I remember it. That's how the voices are in my head now. Like, funnily enough, as much as I love Fooly Cooly, I can't watch it in Japanese.
Yeah, it hits different.
Yeah, it hits differently.
Like, I always considering the dub for Fooly Cooly is like done by the literal madmen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure they must have slammed back some energy drinks in the studio to get that recording out, because it's just bonkers. That's interesting, Loth. I only ever watched Gurren Lagann originally subbed. I mean, the Ghost Story dub is a literal gag dub, so they're not the same.
Nah, I think I tried watching Gurren Lagann dubbed. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and there's a few cases where stuff
is the dub of Redline pretty good? I might give it a lot.
Movie dubs are usually better because those are done through like a movie studio licensing. Like a lot of the Studio Ghibli films are, like, dubbed by usually higher level actors under the direction of, like, I think one of the Disney imprint studios handled a lot of those dubs. For instance, like I think I've mostly only ever watched. I could see Sam Riegel's Viral. He's got a lot of range. I might listen to it once just to see, but I've never gone for that. But like I've usually listened to shit like Princess Mononoke and whatnot dubbed because it's still professional and high quality, and they a lot of the actors put a lot of oomph in it. Also, the Princess Mononoke dub has literal Billy Bob Thornton as the shady monk, which is funny because Billy Bob Thornton.
No, I'm sorry, you're never gonna like. Sam Riegel's good, but fucking again, Viral. It's Nobuyuki Hiyama. He just has that scream in his voice, and I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, no, there's something very iconic. Like I remember, like there was a lot of hype when the Kill la Kill dub got announced, and it really sounded like a lot of the actors, because I saw some preview clips, were selling it. But it's just like, no, but I'm already in it, guys. I've already watched like the first, however many episodes were out when you announced the dub. It's like it's not gonna hit the same.
Guys, I just learned something here real quick.
Uh-oh.
Fucking Nobuyuki Hiyama, that's the voice of Link from Ocarina of Time. All those,
I'm sure there's a lot of funny cameos hidden in some like Legend of Zelda.
I can't fucking
voices.
I can't. What else has this guy done? Hang on, I'm curious.
I mean, if my brain isn't tricking me about what Viral sounded like, that does track, because he is a little bit. He is that like slightly higher register.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. I'm curious.
Now I can only sorry. Currently, my head is experiencing Viral's leitmotif rent free. Because the music in that show is so fucking good. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. If you want to remember, they he also was in Kill la Kill. He played Snagayama, the guy with the super eyes.
Yeah.
That was him as well. Let me see here.
Men, don't go there.
Yep, that's him. Let me see here. Oh, he was also Darnik. That's right. And Apocrypha.
Nah, yeah, that tracks.
But no, I don't want to say like all dubs are bad, but again, when you're just so used to like this is the problem I have when you're so listening when you're like I don't know Japanese as well as I could, so I basically use a lot of intonation and vocal comprehension, I guess is the word is. I don't know what to say, but I understand how they're saying it. And so I try to catch like the nuances and stuff and whatnot. And I try really hard for that in Japanese. Yeah. I don't do that in English. So a lot of the times when I'm listening to people talk in English, everything sounds a lot more flat to me. So I have this really bad problem when I'm listening to dubs. A lot of people sound needlessly the same to me. I'm just like,
Well, and especially through the different, like, it is definitely better now. Like, a lot of effort, mostly, I think, to combat the online piracy problem. But I think there is actually a lot of money and effort in dubbing these days.
Yeah.
And like obviously, I love a lot of the voice actors, you know, for their work. You know, Travis Williams, a great guy. You know, and his lovely wife Laura Bailey has done so many great roles. And there are shows that I can listen to both. Like, it's very weird, but like Full Metal Alchemist, for instance. Obviously, I watched the original series in English on Adult Swim, right? But when Brotherhood came out, it wasn't like it was not simuldubbed. That didn't happen yet. So I watched Brotherhood ahead of time, subbed. So I got used to the Japanese voice cast. So I own the Blu-rays of Brotherhood, so I can listen to those interchangeably. Though I may, you know, the like thing with Vic Mignogna though, and just not just the accusations of some of the misconduct, but also how he handled himself in absolute clown shoes way afterward. It's like I don't know. I haven't tried to go back and listen to it in English after that. If I can separate art from the artist, so I'm glad that I can also listen to the Japanese track. Though that does remind me of another funny voice thing. We've been talking about Kill la Kill. Romy Park, who is Edward in FMA, is Ragyokyuden in KOK. Same VA. I know. Hilarious.
No, there's like a lot of things I can watch in both English. Like you're talking about, you can only watch a Ghost in the Shell in English. I can listen to them both. Actually, I think I was like when we were watching 24 or 5, I kept switching back and forth.
Yeah, I guess I think I've tried to listen to it in Japanese before, but I'm just like I don't know. It just doesn't. Is Batu's voice actor Richard Epcar? I think it is. And Crispin Freeman is Togu, so I'm just like, man, no, just the delivery is so much to me. And of course,
well, no, like that's the thing I can say is about like I do believe the Ghost in the Shell dubs that you can just watch. I'm like, no, this is good. This is one.
Yeah, maybe I should try the. I mean, I've watched some stuff in the Japanese version before. I think I watched some Arise that way because they switched up some of the voice actors. I
think the problem with like you're saying is sometimes when you have Japanese people using Japanese phonetics for like English words, you just get taken out of it.
Yeah, sometimes that does break my sense of immersion a little.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me like at all. I'm just all like, oh, okay.
It's funny because the reverse never bothers me. Like if you talking about like the Fooly Cooly dub and some other stuff that like Ghost in the Shell has done. When they do the reverse and when they say a Japanese word, I'm like, yeah, no, that tracks. I understand. Like fucking calling Stan Omoshiro the whole time. I'm just like, yeah, no, of course they're canonically Japanese, so of course they give him a Japanese nickname. This tracks. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Calling him Joker.
Spoilers for the season. Omoshiro comes back.
Well, they said he was gonna come back. I haven't watched it yet. I've been planning to. Oh.
Yeah, we'll have stuff to talk about there. I will say 100% a nice thing. Here, I can make some Foley. Watching 2045 made me get off my butt and finally complete my original SAC collection. I've always had the first season on DVD, but I bought the first season Blu-ray and the second gig Blu-ray, which I've never owned in person. I've heard some reports that the Blu-rays were a little rough in the audio transfer.
Really?
Yeah, but I also read some other reviews, and some of them were just like, nah, it's just like a couple of times some words weren't, like the audio tracks were improperly mixed on like a single word where it's you're listening to the English track and a Japanese word appears. A lot of people were also giving a 1-star reviews because the subtitles are technically the dub titles. Like there's no literal Japanese translation, and I'm like,
That's how it's
okay.
always been.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, yeah, that is not necessarily gauche these days, but fucking Ghost of the Shell's old, y'all. When the fuck was the original copyright on Standalone Complex?
It's old, but that's how it's always been.
Yeah. And even if you're not doing dub titles, the subtitles are still localized. Spoilers.
Yeah. So,
because literal Japanese translations would be impenetrable. Technically, the literal translations of even like different pronouns that are used should technically mean different things. We just don't usually do that.
I mean, I'll be honest. I would definitely appreciate it if we had, what's the word I want to use? More. I don't want to say authentic, but
more depth in the subtitles.
More depth. Yeah. Because, like I said, I have this problem a lot more. I'm reading along the subtitles, and I'm listening in Japanese, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I had to figure out from a combinations of context clues and people explaining, like, the difference in Japanese polite language to, like, figure out some pronouns. Mm-hmm. Like, when someone just says, teme, you're just like, well, I guess he's being mean. And usually they translate it, that's the universal, like, every fucking dub is just like, bastard, because it has the same syllables, lip flaps.
And then, kisama, you'd be like, usually they go like fucker or something or something.
And you like, you get those vibes and you're just like, but the literal translation is usually just, it's just a really weird, really rude way to say you, like a second person pronoun.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things. It's like, it's one of those things that if you don't actually understand Japanese or how the language runs, you wouldn't get it. But if you know enough of it, but not enough in that you don't need subtitles, you're just like, I'm in this awkward place here. And that's where I'm at. Like,
yeah, I like my ear is definitely improved that I can pick up when subtitles are not necessarily hitting the full depth of a line. Like I said, like you can pick out different pronouns or different constructs or be like, this subtitle is written very plainly, but I can tell that guy said that thing very very politely or something.
And that's the other bad thing about it, though, is there's fucking Japanese wordplay in their fucking language, and it kills me. It fucking kills me. This is why I love and hate Bakemonogatari, because it is literally an entire show about, like, Japanese wordplay and how to, like, read and write things. Like, and all that kind of that wordplay and stuff just gets lost in the direct English translation.
Yeah, because it doesn't, if you translate it to English, just the whether it's a rhyme or alliteration or whatever, it just doesn't translate. Also, damn, yeah, Standalone Complex was 2002. Jimbo, Krimo.
Yeah, but I think we've discussed the state of sub-dub enough. Lucky's final point, there's no perfect solution. Everyone has their own fucking taste. But unfortunately, my taste is I prefer subs over dubs.
Yeah.
In most cases.
I mean, I will say, I'm definitely, I think, sometimes a better reader than a listener, so that's probably why I gravitated towards subs anyway. I was already a speed reader. And then this just, like, completes that energy because, the stuff we talked about.
Mm-hmm. So, we shall move on to... Oh, is this the last one? Possibly. Oh, looks like it. This last one comes from Failed Gotcha Rolls, Hurt More Than Nukes. Oof. Hey, Lucky Omega, hope your summer 4 rerun experience is going better than mine. You can probably imagine why. No questions, just wanted to curl up and ball and cry. Musashi didn't answer myself, and even though additional sand quartz I did buy. So a bit the fairware, I should be taking the praise from this current game as my patience has run dry. May our paths converge once more on the day I recover the happiness that this game did me to deny. Goodbye.
Well, see you later, fam.
10 out of 10 poem.
I was gonna
Actually,
say via con Dios, but I'm like, no, happy trails can be sarcastic. I won't do that. Sorry, frantically trying to brush my own hair out of my face.
Oh.
Well, actually, you are. Somebody in chat said you are correct. Given the way Japanese is formatted with like the different levels of politeness, they don't actually have a lot of curse words. There's a few. You've probably heard some of them because they are probably used more likely in fiction than in day-to-day life. Uh,
Well,
but a lot of the translations which make language more vulgar is usually just you drop certain levels of formality and particles and distance, and as is, that doesn't really translate to English, especially American English.
oh yeah, dropping like going from like the highest level of Kago just down bits, taking off your I don't even know what they're called, but yeah. Yeah, basically the more you shorthand your Japanese, the more it's casual and impolite.
Which you can kind of translate to English. Like, obviously, we all know the difference between like formal language and casual language, but again, doing so in circumstances it would not normally be socially appropriate is like usually either you are an idiot or you are making a deliberate snub.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's if you've watched JoJo, yeah, no, the Japanese, especially I think over the past couple of decades, have really gotten into using English loanword curses, especially. Son of a bitch. Doesn't All Might drop like a shit in My Hero one time? I think he does.
Maybe.
He drops some American curse word. I mean, he's supposed to be I think he's supposed to be Americanized, so makes sense. But like, yeah, damn, it's just that's very funny and jarring when you hear it in the. Well, not always jarring. It's usually pretty funny depending on the context. Though I don't know, they might be playing it up, like Joseph Joestar's infamous "Oh my god."
I'm just thinking about. I think I remember the first time I heard a Japanese character use the word "fuck." It was fucking Air Gear back in like 2006. I think the character was Agito or something like that. The pretty boy with the iPad. It was like
no,
it was
the Eye Patch Kid. Yeah, he's really
just like fuck. I was just like, and he's just like, whoa.
Yeah. By the way, that's another one of those comments like that. The Eye Patch Kid. Yes. He, depending on which eye he has covered, he has a different personality. One eye is like ooh polite soft boy, and then the other eye is, as Lucky described, literally just fuck. God, Air Gear was so good. I need to reread that manga again.
Oh, great is amazing.
I mean, in the context that Naruto uses Sasuke-chan originally, yes, that's like Chan is a diminutive honorific. That it's usually reserved for girls at or below your age or like children. Calling a male peer Chan is like, yes, very much like either you guys are such good friends that he can basically insult you as a joke, or you are deliberately being an asshole.
Again, it's one of those things of just the Japanese language that you just.
Yeah, honorifics is another thing that's mostly lost in English. The closest we can get is whether or not you include a Mr., because that can be like really formal to not formal, and then first and last name usage in English can sometimes be not quite as bad, but almost as direct as in Japanese. Like in Japanese, addressing somebody by their first name, their personal name, without an honorific is incredibly intimate and informal. You should never do that unless you are bestest friends or lovers or you're mortal enemies and you don't give a shit. But in American English, it's still a lot more casual to call somebody by their first name. Shit's really fucked when they say your full name, though. That's when you're in trouble. But yeah, that was the mailbag.
That was the mailbag.
I will close that tab.
Hey, we're over 3 hours now.
Yeah, yay.
Yay.
The power of show. And we're not done yet. Because somebody in the mailbag said they were waiting for Fanservice Friday. So we'll do that. We'll actually do it now. You can't stop me, chat. You're no longer the co-host of the show. I take the dummy robot of Twitch Plays co-host. I throw you out of the studio. Lucky's here now. Or perhaps, like, Lucky emerges from behind the screen of the studio, you know, Kool-Aid Man style. Throws Chad out of the way. Out of my chair. You did really explode onto the scene. But okay, Fanservice Friday. So, I explained this earlier, but this was voted on by patrons. You can vote on this poll every month at our 5 and up level on Patreon. It means I got a couple of days, but I do need to think about whatever our next poll is. Maybe throw a couple other people into the hopper, some new shit. But this month's theme, it's because we do the show weekly. This month's theme was stars, and with a quite decent majority, I believe it was 59%. Sojourner was picked, Sojourner Foreigner. So, if you don't know this one, I raved about this one, I think when Voyager was, like, first announced. But, so, if you don't know, Sojourner in this case is the name of a Mars rover. It was part of the Pathfinder mission. So, this was when we were first putting landers on Mars. And I do believe that Sojourner was our first major, like, roving lander, like our actual rover that landed on Mars. It was named by contest after Sojourner Truth.
Mm-hmm.
The black woman who's famous in historical African American rights, an abolitionist. I believe it was picked by contest. But I'll get into this later with some of the skills. But part of the reason why this story really stuck with me is, to put this in perspective, this was a experimental system. They landed on Mars. They, wanted it to, like, roll around and test communication and stuff. It was originally designed for a mission to last 7 Earth days, a week. And then it was supposed to shut down, with a possible extension to 30 days. The Sojourner rover was totally active, for 83 days. So, once again, extended way past its lifespan. And finally ran out of power and lost communications and energy. Though I do believe the later Pathfinder lander was able to take some pictures. But yeah, and it's still there to this day. So I used Foreigner because that's the experience we got and the the class profile we know about. Oh yeah, it is. It's time for login. Everybody log in after you, everybody.
Login.
I thought it was 1800 tonight, but it might not be. Wasn't it 28th to 29th, or am I misremembering? Is it 29th to 30th? Don't expect me to count how many actual days FGO has been running, y'all. But yeah, so I used Foreigner because that's the class container we are familiar with. Technically, this is also probably a Voyager like Voyager, but we don't really have any details on how that class works other than that's supposed to be what they do with the Voyager.
What they do.
So, Sojourner, class Foreigner, alignment chaotic good. Stats, strength, D. Endurance, A+. Oh, hey, it's a ticket day. Yay.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, no sync quartz. I guess that must be tomorrow then, technically. Curse you, time zones.
Time zones.
Anyway, give me a soap. All right. Agility B, magic or mana or whatever. Whatever that stat is, I've seen it translated a lot of ways. C, luck A. NP B-. So class skills, existence outside the domain C, the normal class skill for foreigners. I think this was the same level that Voyager got, maybe lower. I had to double check. Independent navigation B, also the skill that Voyager has. That's kind of that variation of independent action. Rapidly gaining information about the environment. Skills. Battle continuation A. Because, as I said, it was sent on a 7-day mission, but managed to last for, 85 days.
I feel we can probably name it something else besides battle continuation, but I'm drawing a blank immediately.
Yeah, I don't have any differences. I went with battle continuation just because that is usually the endurance type stat. Like, Sojourner kept operating beyond the normal, so yeah, you might call it something different. You might put a different spin on it, but I think Batcon is a decent starting point. Photosynthesis B. This is technically a unique scale, but I based it off the galvanism skill that several servants have, where they get to convert electrical energy into magical energy and stuff, and reflect certain electrical attacks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a rover, the Sojourner rover was powered by sunlight. It had solar panels, so sunlight and to a lesser extent moonlight is directly converted into magical energy. Magical attacks of energy or light can be absorbed. That kind of thing. Probably some kind of, battery or NP gain up like Tesla and Friends galvanism, though obviously those had to be buffed, so we, give a little extra juice. And also Voyager of the Stars B, similar to actual Voyager's skill as well, makes the impossible possible, allowing for world-to-world journeying, Sojourner embodies the first wheeled rover to actually explore another planet, the one we actually got out there. Not just our moon, but like an actual other planet. And probably the only planet we can really go to, because Mercury and Venus are hella hot. Well, actually, I think Mercury's probably hella cold as well. It's got them, like, dark sides. So my lore on some of the skills isn't as deep because I based a lot of this, like I said, on Voyager when Voyager came out. I don't even know, does Voyager have a translated profile in FGO materials? I'll have to double check if he's been in a Matt's book and actually come out. Well, Sojourner would be a girl because it's named after a woman, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And technically, while launched younger than Voyager, the Sojourner rover has been quote-unquote dead longer. It ceased operation in 1997. Still, new, but got some differences there. But yeah, so Noble Phantasms, though, I was able to put some of my usual extra English in. The first one to talk about here is Red Planet, Panorama of Crimson Mars, a C-rank barrier Noble Phantasm. So, to explain this, the Sojourner rover explored a 100-meter section of Mars. Was equipped with cameras and other scientific equipment to perfectly map this. So, we actually have, I believe, still have access to some of its panoramic views. Yeah, so we have the actual panorama it took of this 100-meter section. Because it transmitted that back to us. So basically, this was, permanently etched into the rover. It is permanently recorded. So this is a, bounded field.
Oh.
So,
okay.
It creates a replica of the perfect copy of that 100-meter section of Mars. Now, because that also included environmental data, including temperature and atmosphere, this means that humans will have a bad time in here because it will be cold and there will be no air. Even servants will have a hard time operating. It can also summon a red sandstorm to actually, inhibit, servants' areas. And because Sojourner has an instinctive knowledge of this area, she would have, home field advantage. But because this is a copy that is strongly being rejected by the texture of the world, this is Earth, not Mars, it drains energy rapidly. So this is a close to reality marble type Noble Phantasm, a bounded field effect. it would have a hard time being projected for long, but it could be used to create a significant environment. Probably like a self buff and then an enemy wide debuff, like, maybe like evade on self, and maybe a stimulus type. You wouldn't use this as the main NP. Don't worry, I'll get there. But probably a debuff on enemies like crit chance down, curse, or poison. You could do either. Not burn because it's cold. But like AoE dot and crit chance down, self steroid. Maybe a hard defensive aid kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the other noble phantasm is Pathfinder, conquer the surface of Mars, B- anti-planet. So, in case y'all forgot, Mars is named after the god of war. It's being our nearest neighbor. There are so many stories of Mars and meeting Martians in human fiction. Like for literally hundreds of years, we've been able to observe Mars a long time. Even when we figured out Mars was cold and lifeless, we wanted to still go there. And so Sojourner's the first rover to successfully explore Mars. That is to say, she is the one who conquered Mars. As the one who defeated Mars, she can be said to be the strongest on Mars and has the authority of the bringer of battle. The Sojourner rover was also armed with a laser hazard system. This, I'm pretty sure, was just a LiDAR system to like detect issues with lasers, but it sounds like a cool anime attack. So she can shoot, red homing lasers at enemies, and target them in with perfect navigation. When you use its true name, she releases a giant crimson ray of light from her magical core. If the enemy is not of mankind, be they god or alien, they will surely be conquered, as mankind's destiny is the stars. So yeah, when you use the full power, this is basically the authority of the one who conquered Mars. Because Mars sure didn't have shit to say about us parking a rover on there. This rover wasn't supposed to last longer than a week. 85 days, everybody. 85 days in operation. And I imagine like I said, it's just a giant red blast from the core. Probably take some cues from like Altera's teardrop photon ray, because that is supposed to be Mars rage beams coming down, and then Altera just being like, "Nah, fam, you're gonna hit that guy over there instead." Again, to bring back the EXTELLA lore, that's canonical. Her actual noble phantasm teardrop photon ray is she uses the sword of Mars to call in an orbital strike, but on herself, and then she's just like, "Nah, miss me with that shit." But yeah, so big beam, probably have striking damage against threats against humanity type enemies, because this is mankind's perseverance to conquer all those unconquerable things out there. And I just like giant red beams, guys. Who doesn't like red beams? I'm imagining that through some of the ascensions, Sojourner would have an armored space jacket or something, maybe a mobility frame with wheels, because unlike Voyager being a probe, they were a rover, so maybe some Da Vinci style wheelies, some Heelys kind of a thing, because this was an environmentally adapted rover, actually meant to go on planetary surfaces and move around and stuff. But yeah, like I said, that one's a little shorter because a lot of the deeper cuts for the class stuff isn't here. We just don't have that extra knowledge. But it was just, when I realized we could, anthropomorphize space probes, I was like, rad. And in case you didn't pick up from the fact that I keep mentioning it, I always found the story of how we built this thing to last a week, maybe a month at most, and it was able to continue operation and trundle around for, way, way longer than that. I don't know how many times off the top of my head, but that's always really inspiring about the technology and devices we build, and how some of them can be so hardy and just keep going through all this. If you wanted to do another Mars rover type thing, I know that Curiosity really grabbed everybody's imagination. It was very advanced. I'd have to actually check. I don't know if Curiosity broke any records. It was just really in the public consciousness because NASA, I think, decided to stream a lot of that stuff. And NASA still do be streaming. But yeah, that is Fan Servant Friday for this month. I didn't say this week. Gotcha this time.
Ow.
And I think that's everything I got for the show, actually. Funnily enough, just that one guy says keep going.
You're going with what?
Yeah, what do we got? We don't got anything. We did the news. There's gonna be a stream for Trom on the 1st of June. It's at 6:30 a.m. my time. I will not be watching it.
What's the stream for again? Oh yeah,
yeah, it's the Trom one before it. It will almost assuredly be the actual release.
Yeah, that's literally the middle of the week, yo.
Yeah, it's the middle of the week, and like I said, it's also later than usual. Like it's my time. It's 6:30 a.m., which is 3:30 for you. Like that's quite a bit investment. Like that won't work for me because I'm, thanks to the power of working with so many people in the Pacific, I'm like super night owl. But like that's like wake up early and go back to bed type times. But it will be hosted by Rumi Okubo, Constantine's VA, whose name is not in front of me anymore, so I do not recall it, and Mafia. So I'm sure watching the VOD will be funny. You know. This is usually the part of the show where we shill what's up, but obviously we're not doing that this week.
My bad.
I will instead shill number one, our Delta Green AP. If you really want lots of hours of us and also some other guys happen to be there, listen to the Delta Green AP. It's cool. We like it. There were some good scenes in it. It came out yesterday. I used that to kind of fill the gap between the usual prog release, like normally on Friday, and this, because I was like, I don't know when this is going to be.
Actually, like, I mean, we are streaming right now. We could talk about some what's up topics that we maybe want to, if we wanted to.
Sure, we can hit a few. Let me see. I mean, I already mentioned 2045, and you're not caught up, so.
Yeah, no, but like you're talking about Delta Green. I think I've mentioned this several times this week. I'm very mad that I was not able to articulate angrily or to be angry in articulate manner.
There was quite a bit of good, like, in-character conversing, even, like, arguing, like, good interpersonal conflict, because it was, like, actually, like, going places with the characters. It happened a couple of times, and I know that you were kind of upset that you could not... You could not act out the moment as good as you wanted.
Yeah. But again, I'm having a lot of fun with Starcord. Especially since we have what I would like to call solid leads.
Yeah, it took you a little bit to grasp some of the things, but I was able to get it in there.
Yep, shout out to Axe. You decided to push buttons, came out a winner.
I mean, and if you think about the framing, it's funny but appropriate too. Like that was the moment you're talking about was your character, Dr. Kara and Dr. Kara Robinson, and Aaron's character. Agent Garza are like arguing about another thing, having their back and forth moment, and then Benowitz is just like, I'm just gonna slip away and go do this thing that I really want to try. Going to push button. And I'm glad that worked. That was when the phone dialogue was one I spent a lot of time working on. Like I said, I even considered like trying to do like a voice synthesizer, like read it, but all of the like easily accessible ones sounded too robotic. I thought I might just record me do it, but then put like a filter over it. But I'm like, nah, it's too much work. I'll just read it to you live. I'll write it and read it. And that may not be the last phone message you ever get. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I'm glad some of those hit really well. And like you said, you guys got to, I think, the tangible lead zone. Like the first session was really just kind of like casting a broad net, and then the second one's kind of like reeling it in and seeing what actually got caught. And even when there were some technically unrelated avenues that were approached through, combinations of just happenstance and general weirdness, I was able to, turn those into points of plot spookiness. Like I didn't really think anybody was gonna commit to checking the sewer cisterns, but I got to do a fucking video game ass jump scare, so I really want to know what Dallas was thinking when he was like, I'm gonna eyeball the crack of this door, and I'm just like, really? In Delta Green? He's lucky that whatever was on the other side of the door didn't decide to go for the like slasher movie option and like stick a pair of scissors in his eye or something. That's okay. He still got armed strike to cold cock another one of the agents to test a theory, and he punched the vending machine. He rolls a botch on his unarmed combat. I'm like, okay, you punch a vending machine. It really hurt.
Free soda though.
It spits out a Coke can. Yeah, not quite as much fever speculation during the week, but a little bit. I know some of the other guys were going back and forth about some ideas they had. Hopefully we'll be able to pull off everything without a hitch tomorrow. But yeah, had a lot of fun there. Well, it's another big thing this week that I'm sure interests both of us it was Star Wars Celebration this week.
Oh yeah.
The first couple episodes of Kenobi have come out. I did not have time to watch them. Like I said, I spent all of Thursday like literally watching all 24 episodes of 2045 again. Started from number 1. So I haven't had a chance to watch them, but I've heard they're good. But there were a lot of trailers and announcements. There was the announcement trailer for the Andor Disney Plus series, which looks like it slaps. And then on the second day, was it late yesterday? We got a trailer and a name for the
Next Star Wars game?
Yeah, I'm completely blanking on the original game. It was
Fallen Order?
Yeah, Fallen Order. This is Jedi Outcast. Or Star Wars Jedi Outcast. There's a colon in it. But yeah, so it was a cinematic trailer. There's the Grand Inquisitor who keeps showing up in things, which is weird because I don't even know if this is a spoiler because Rebels ended like literal years ago and it's not even in the last season, but that dude been dead for a while. I guess technically all this stuff takes place before he canonically dies, but it's like, that's weird. Then again, that never stopped nobody. Looking at you, Darth Maul, coming back for like 30 years. That dude got literally cut in half. And then he got robot legs. And I think he still has robot legs, or did he get dark sorcery legs?
No, he has robot legs. Well, no, I don't know if he upgraded to dark sorcery legs, but
there was some, Dathomir bullshit in his comeback. So maybe they got him real legs. The last I checked, they were robot legs. In one of the comics in the old EU, he had spider legs. That was freaky. But yeah, the fact that dude has died like 2 or 3 times hasn't stopped them from reusing his character. So, but yeah, the trailer looks vaguely interesting. It's a lot of like monologuing and dark scenes of guys trundling around. There's a weird dude in a back to tube.
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of implies that the Grand Inquisitor like beats Cal up and steals his lightsaber in the trailer because he's like talking to it.
Gotta be depowered somehow.
Yeah, they gotta reset you, classic Metroid style. And who knows? Maybe they'll do the usual thing where they'll keep you like a couple of the low level quality of life upgrades, But we still got BD. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
It did look like your old ship crashed somewhere, but that could just be it's just a cinematic trailer. I don't think we got any details. Looks nice though, and I'm excited.
It looks like things have fucked up.
Yeah, it looks like maybe your plan to run away did not work out like you planned it.
They did say it takes place like 5 years later though, so who knows what's happening.
Yeah, that gives them a little wiggle room. But yeah, trailer looks good.
So I'm excited for that. I am planning on watching Love.
Yeah, was it Survivor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Fallen Order. It's Jedi Survivor. That's also the name of a Outcast was the name of the Dark Forces sequel.
Oh,
the 2?
okay.
I think that was Dark Forces 2. Because Dark Forces 3 was Jedi Academy. I feel like Survivor has been used by another Star Wars subtitle, but yeah, no, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is Survivor. Still, it's you got the moods.
I'm just thinking about it. It's like I do like my darker kind of stories. It's like because I always loved the Darkest Before Dawn kind of things.
Yeah.
especially in this kind of story, like that segment between the prequel and the original, which is kind of it's an area, it's a time.
Obi-Wan in A New Hope literally calls it the Dark Times. So yeah, no, it's a thing.
And again, it's like, and if they're bringing back the team from, well, at least most of the team from the original, like I would like to say I am cautiously optimistic about it. I enjoyed Fallen Order. I played the shit out of it.
Yeah. And I do think, I mean, it's all the usual video game press rigmarole, but I believe they did talk about how they will actually be doing, evolving the game state, giving you access to new skills and new connections, like, trying to give you new stuff to do, which will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
If they, like, fine-tune the skill list and stuff. And they said they worked really hard to keep the combat good and improving. So that is, interesting as always. I'll be excited for that. And unlike the perspective of whatchamacallit Eclipse, this will probably actually come out. For sure. Sometime this this century.
Yeah.
They also had some other announcements. They announced a short animation series called Tales of the Jedi. No, it is not Visions 2. It's a 3D animation style. Also, not really Axe. I mean, Obi-Wan's line is, he calls it, before the dark times, before the Empire. Like, it's not really that weird. We literally still call certain parts of the medieval period the Dark Ages.
Yeah, no, what would you rather call it? The time where everything sucked.
I mean, if Star Wars was written literally today, possibly.
Yeah, but then that's
well, it's unintentional dating. Yeah, it becomes an unintentional period piece. A lot of the beauty of Star Wars is kind of its timelessness.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they did announce another animation project that will involve some prequel era time stuff. Well, that's just one part of it. It's not like, because I think you're misunderstanding what the Dark Time is. No, the Dark Time is just all time. Everything that happens between Revenge of the Sith, when the Empire exists, and then roughly A New Hope, when a hope is made anew. There's a new hope in it. It's just sucky. Everything they do is the Dark Time. And also, canonically, I'm pretty sure most of the Inquisitors are actually fucking dead by A New Hope, so. Because they're bad at their jobs.
Well, I'm pretty sure if there wasn't a single farm board with a laser sword couldn't fuck everything up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in one of the comics they've got like the Grand Inquisitor's spooky dark side ghost, and Luke like beats his ass. I think that's in the post-Empire, pre-Empire Strikes Back comics that Marvel is doing. So maybe not, but he's also supposed to be pretty enswolled. Then he's the son of Skywalker. He's a pretty cool dude. But he still has both his hands. But yeah, so like I said, they're doing some stuff. Actually, this came out of Celebration. This is kind of funny. They talked a little about another one of the live-action series they're doing, Acolyte, which is supposed to be set like 100-ish years before the prequels. It's going to be like one of the first live-action things to look at that whole High Republic concept they've come up with, which has been in novels and stuff. Hasn't really gone anywhere yet, but seems to be a decent setting. What I liked best is they talked about they did one of the things that I think is the one of the most interesting things to hear myself. The showrunner for the live action explicitly said that they were reading and mining a lot of old EU material for inspiration, and explicitly mentioned the RPGs, the tabletop RPGs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is not unknown. For those of you who don't know about the Star Wars Expanded Universe, a lot of that stuff like really first started with the old West End Games RPG. Those first couple of RPG source books that they'd put out were given to Timothy Zahn to write his, Thrawn trilogy of novels. So, like, that's deeply ingrained in the canon. And some of the guys who used to work at WEG now actually work at Lucasfilm. But to hear a ahead of a show project to be like, yeah, no, I'm casting a white net. I'm actually like looking at old RPG material. I'm like, ooh, I actually think I might be interested in this series now because, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the mainstream Star Wars has had a inspiration problem, where they were not necessarily casting a wide net. And there's that infamous quote that Kathleen Kennedy made for some incredibly boneheaded reason, where she said that Marvel is not like Star Wars. We don't have years of books and comics to go back to, which everybody was like, okay, you may not have meant it this way, Kathleen, but you're literally wrong. there ever since Star Wars came out, there have in fact been comics and novels. Like Bruce Daly wrote the Adventures of Han Solo, I think between like 4 and 5. There's some old ass, really jank Marvel Star Wars comics from like the 70s and shit. Like, no, Star Wars has had extra merchandising for a long ass time. It's not like literally 100 years like a lot of comic book characters, but still, there was a lot you could have mined for Data that we probably didn't for that sequel trilogy. But there's been a decent amount of cross inspiration for some of the old stuff, for some of the newer live action stuff. I know Dave Filoni knows a lot about the old EU, but again, like I said, the Acolyte news was kind of interesting. Let's see, anything else? What's uppy? Like Ghost in the Shell is probably the bulk of my want to talk about for this week.
I'll definitely watch it this week. Like I said, I still have my I have my Netflix up right meow.
Nice.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I don't think I even updated my notes doc because obviously I knew yesterday that we would not be doing What's Up today.
No, but Star Wars is good news.
Speaking of news, there's not actually news, but State of Play announced for early June.
Yep, that'd be good. I'm hoping for a God of...
Yeah, they said it'll mostly be third party, but they would still have some new teases, so maybe a new trailer. I'm not expecting a deep dive, like a 30-minute gameplay or anything, but, maybe a good time to release a new trailer.
Yeah.
Because they said third party, that could also be Final Fantasy 16.
It could be. Like I said, Yoshi P did drop that there is a trailer ready to be released. And people were vibrating about it.
It'd be a good time to vibrate.
Yeah. Lucky continues to demolish audiobooks. I did finally finish book 10 of the Cradle Sissy, which is all they have right now. And I still love it. I found a little hidden gem called Beware of Chicken. It's quite good. I actually went on Royal Road and read the entire rest of it that was available. I'm not necessarily going to get into details about it because we have been going for like over 3 hours. Yeah, but it's something I could probably talk about later as I cultivate some thoughts on it. Because again, I didn't really have time to put my thoughts together today.
Yeah, we understand. You've been slept.
All right, but I can probably
demolish some real books because I think it was this week. Amazon sent me a little note about like a little heads up, being like, "Hey, one of your authors you're following is doing a new book soon." And I'm like, "You're right, Amazon. I do appreciate this note because it's for the next Daidoji Shin. That should be next month." Yeah, the Flower Path will be June 7th. Yeah, so it's in a couple of weeks. And I'm still behind on a couple, so I need to smash some real books, catch up on my Rokugan reading, and also some TV. Like, obviously, the first couple episodes of Kenobi are out. I did manage to watch, all of 2045, but there's also, I believe, next season of Stranger Things has dropped, or at least some of it, which is, I've been a big fan of that, and also that's definitely given me some inspiration for Delta Green stuff. I told before that the name Starcourt comes from the name of the mall in the third season. So, I'll want to catch up on that. Kenobi. God, there's another. Oh, right, yeah. I don't think I've watched the last couple episodes of the Owl House either that were released on Plus as well. And I still haven't watched Moon Knight, damn it. Sorry, that also just makes me remember a Game Grumps animated where they're talking about it's one of their most viewed because I've seen it in that compilation a lot, but they talk about just making up curse words because curses are fake, like all other language. They're constructed, so you can just say stuff at the right invective and it sounds nasty. And at one point, Dan just goes into saying, he even says this, I'm just going to start saying, like, C and D list Marvel characters. Moon Knight. Darkhawk. Yeah, the animator who did this animation makes sure to actually, like, make the character he's referencing appear. It's very funny. So, like, whenever I think of Moon Knight, I think of Dan Avidan saying, Moon Knight, and I think of that one image clip of Random Bullshit Go. That internet screen cap. So I should actually watch Moon Knight sometime. Also because, Oscar Isaac is cool. But yeah, so hopefully we have some stuff to catch up. So we will shield Delta Green. Like I said, we should be recording the next AP of that tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood and all that. And if you want to catch more hours of us and this bullshit, make sure to check us out on Monday. We'll be doing a new stream series. I mentioned this before. I'll be taking back the reins. We'll be starting Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So we'll get into that. I'm going to say... I'll commit. We'll do all of the first case. That should probably be like 3 or 4 hours.
Ooh.
We'll have to play it by ear for some of the rest. And I'll be talking about that later. Seeing that one. If you, still feel like you haven't got your weekly dose of us, go back and check out our previous stream playthrough. I have actually put all of Skyward Sword HD in a playlist, so you can just start at the beginning and watch through all of the 8 episodes, I believe it was, and have a good time. But, yeah, I think that's all my usual, what else we're doing stuff that we want people to check out.
Yeah, so let's get on out of here.
Okay, let's do the outro. All right, if you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. Feed the algorithm. Get that juice up there. Clicky thumbs up. If you have any comments, you can leave them in the comment section down below. You can also join our Discord. That link is, as always, in the video page and in our... Sorry, I think I just realized I said that in reverse. It's in our video description and on our channel page. That's the way I normally say that. Yeah, there's a Discord link. Check it out. If you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And even if you're already subscribed, make sure to hit that bell for our notifications so you always know when we post a new video or when we stream. If you don't have your notifications turned on, how will you know when we have to do, like, a weird 9 o'clock stream?
Mm-hmm.
So ring the bell. It's good for you. You can also support our channel via memberships. You can hit that join button next to the video, or there's a join link in the description. Gets you access to membership badges and emotes as are displayed in the live chat right now. Allegedly, YouTube has also talked about gifting memberships, but I know some people have said they haven't seen those options. So we will continue to see if that is a thing that actually appears later. But also, like I said at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to audio. Like I said, there'll be a weird cut when Lucky gets back in when I actually, flop over the audio. But, yeah, there will be the audio of this as well. That's as little as $1 a month or roughly $10 a year. And, obviously, your high-level support, helps us keep going and, lets us exist and buy food and maybe do less work. Supports us so we always have the free time to do the stuff. So, consider supporting us.
Yeah.
That's everything for this week. We will see you guys next week for more Let's Stick FGO. I'm sure we'll have a whole heck of a lot of stuff to talk about with that Trom stream in the middle of next week.
Yeah.
New servants, new things. Will we see? Everyone, get your final bets in. Will we see the Charlie confirmation? I'm not taking bets on Roland. I know that silhouette. That's no bet. And we'll see what else we get. Yeah, I think that's everything. So, I was streaming this, so actually I have to push all the buttons. So, we'll get on out of here. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.